And
Whoa. Yeah.
What is up, Hulgamaniacs?
Oh, boy.
Can you hear us now? Do we give you the gift of audio? Because we're very handsome, but we're not much of a podcast if you cannot hear us.
yes, let us know if you can hear us, and if you can't hear us, let us know so we can fix the problem again.
If you didn't know or couldn't tell,
Oh, you didn't know?
we are live.
Yeah.
And we're going to be giving you our thoughts on the Royal Rumble 2019. And yes, if you're wondering, I did put 2018 in my notes. But that's just a secret between friends. Because it's a new year, boys. New year, same dumpster fire of a podcast.
Award-winning dumpster fire.
Hey,
Award-winning.
Wyatt says right now he is hollering because he can hear us like Scott Steiner, and I'm so proud. That's my boy.
Well, all right. We are Big Boys
Yes.
and Body Slams. And let's do this before something else happens.
Yep.
Well, first of all, thanks to Aunt Sharon. She bought a mug.
Yes.
You the best, Aunt Sharon.
Show the mug.
Yeah.
And T-shirt this week. So that was a really nice
EC,
sale.
F, and W, baby.
And
Well,
also,
Big Boys and F and Body.
shout out to Spotify.
Woo! After all the hate.
After all the hate Spotify has given to us, we are live on there.
Not that we've given any back at all.
Yeah, we are
no,
on
no.
Spotify. So you can catch us on Spotify,
And also-
YouTube. Oh, and look at Luke's merchandise arrived. BigBoysBodySlams.storeenvy.com. You can rep a shirt just like that, or a mug just like that, or a shirt with the mug's print on it. That's all over at BigBoysBodySlams.storeenvy.com. We've had some merch sales coming in, boys.
And we got a website.
And I'll tell you what, yeah, Big Boys and Bodyslams.wordpress.com. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
In the
and
meantime,
also don't forget about Slam Chat. We got some fun stuff going on over there. We got a Royal Rumble post. We
yeah,
on
we had an active
Facebook.
Royal Rumble post,
We also
discussion post.
just a lot of fun stuff that we're trying to do that have a fun, clean wrestling community.
Yeah, for sure. I guess with that out of the way, my name is Zach. Over here we have Handsome Luke,
Hello.
and over here we have Handsome Kyle.
Hey,
I'm an equal opportunity handsomer
you know I came out swinging.
from a South Philly basement.
Yep.
He's been listening to a lot of the Wonder Years
Oh yeah,
lately.
I've been on a Wonder Years kick.
Hey, how was the Royal Rumble tonight, fellas?
Awesome.
It was a fun show.
V long.
We were watching it live. It was a marathon of a show.
I think we watched for about 7 hours.
It
Oh
feels
my
like
God.
it. It feels like it.
No, it does feel like it because it was.
Yeah, because we started at 2. It's now 9. It was a pretty decent show.
I think it was more than decent.
Yeah, I'm just a little fatigued, but I think as we'll go through it, it'll start
Yes.
coming to light. Should
Yes,
we jump
yes.
right into it?
Let's just start
Since the
with
stream is healthy.
Yep, let's get to this pre-show. Let's get it going.
The pre-show opens up. Oh, by the way, we are in Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. There's 48,193 people in attendance.
Home
Has
of
to
the
be-
Diamondbacks.
Yes, it's got to be one of the biggest draws in Royal Rumble history, I'd imagine. And this
gotta
is just
be.
off the top of my head.
It's in a baseball stadium.
It's in Chase Field, yeah, where the Diamondbacks play baseball. And originally there were 2 matches scheduled. For the pre-show. There ended up being 3. We got an extra match.
We had a really confusing.
So I'll let Kyle kind of explain because I was using the restroom or doing
facilities.
or doing something.
Drake Maverick came out of a locker room and basically was like, Akam is hurt, so Razor wants a title shot. So Razor is going to team up with Scott Dawson of the Revival because that makes a lot of sense. And if we win, we both get title shots or something. And so they're going to face Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, but they didn't tell you where this match was going to take place. So we weren't sure if this was going to be the Royal Rumble,
or Raw,
or WrestleMania, or Impact's next pay-per-view,
And then it
or
just happened.
AEW.
Turns
Yeah.
out it was 5 minutes after they talked about it because we do get Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus Razor of the AOP and Scott Dawson, accompanied to the ring by Drake Maverick, for a future tag title shot for the teams. Dawson and Roode are in to start. There's a tag team monkey flip to Dawson. Razor gets tagged in. Big choke slam to Gable. Dawson comes back in, works over Gable for a while. Razor and Dawson are really beating up on Gable here. Actually working pretty okay as a team for now. Gable fights back until he and Dawson bonk heads. Both men are down. Gable can't get to the tag. Dawson can, though, and Razor comes back in. Gable finally does get the tag. Roode comes in. Back body drop to Dawson, followed by a nice-looking spine buster. They're always nice, though. Bobby Roode's
They're
spine busters are
glorious.
a thing of beauty. A blockbuster to Razor, which Kyle popped for like no tomorrow. Dawson gets his hands on the tights with
Did
a
I
roll
really
up for a near
pop
fall.
that high for it?
It was a pretty big pop.
Huge bagwell, Mark.
It was. And then Dawson miscommunicates, takes out Razor in accident, which leads to the double team moonsault neckbreaker type maneuver that Roode and Gable hit, which is their finisher, which is the end of the match. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable win in 7 minutes. This wasn't a very good match. It was kind of just a nothing.
Well, it just made no sense.
I don't know why it was here because the stipulation ended up not coming to fruition anyways. Really didn't need to be on the show. I gave it 2 stars because it wasn't terrible. It just was needless. We didn't need it.
My opinion was this is your typical Raw match. Like a
Yep.
Raw opener. Wasn't much behind it. I gave it 2 because it wasn't bad. I don't know what Zach's talking about. I don't think I popped much for this match at
Kyle,
all.
did he pop for that? He popped for that.
What's my name?
Yeah, you just called him Kyle. Of course.
Colin behind
Yeah,
the
Luke-
camera? Did he pop for that spot? Oh, Colin says
You
no.
have no support there.
Colin says no.
Colin
Okay,
says
okay,
no.
okay.
Oh, yeah, thanks for Colin for running
Camera for us.
camera for us
We love
tonight.
you.
So Colin and Logan have helped us out a little bit, getting this stuff going.
Heck yeah.
So thanks,
Um,
guys.
I give this 2 stars as well. Had no reason for happening. Confused me actually. 2 things. So one, as Bobby Roode and Chad Gable were coming in, which by the way, here at Chase Field, all the entrances for the wrestlers are coming in from the dugout.
I love that.
It's a
which
really
is-
interesting look.
which
I
is
thought.
awesome. Which gave WWE a good chance to use their CGI that they've been using for entrances lately.
Yeah.
So that looked amazing. But the cameraman who was filming Rude walk down the ramp definitely tripped over himself and fell backwards.
It was
and
so
they,
funny.
And they kept that camera angle on for
For a
like
good 5
yeah,
seconds.
Yeah, at least.
If you want to talk about a pop, I pop for that.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was one of my favorite spots of the whole night.
But yeah, I gave it 2 stars. I didn't get why it was happening. We even like kind of theorized about Wilder, like what happened
Yeah,
there.
did he
no
no-show?
It doesn't make sense.
The world may never know.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they want the champs won anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, it literally ended up having no consequence, no bearing on any storyline or anything that we know of. Maybe it'll evolve into something, but for now, kind of just a weird one and done, nothing.
You just reunited Hawkins and Ryder.
Yep,
You could have used Hawkins and Ryder in this spot
definitely.
and given them the match against the tag team champs, and
Yeah, I agree with that.
put them over. But that's all right. Friend of the podcast, Greg, says Dash claims he was injured.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
does he?
so
So he
I-
just doesn't have to show up?
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there, but so
Hmm.
we'll investigate.
Well, with AEW, like we're like over analyzing things now and just like, oh, AEW confirmed. Like
Yep.
we're just jumping to conclusions. So
We would never jump to conclusions in the wrestling
I mean, no,
community,
never.
guys. Shall we move on?
Do
Yep,
it.
let's go to the next match.
Up next, we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev for the United States Championship in 1 year, guys.
Okay, I was going to
In
mention
1
this
year,
too.
Shinsuke Nakamura has gone from winning the Royal Rumble to being on the pre-show. The United States Championship right now, and this is going to sound weird with me saying this because the other mid-card belt on the other show wasn't even defended tonight, but there is no championship in WWE today that gets less respect than the United States Championship.
You're absolutely correct.
The U.S. champion is never even on TV.
Nope.
When Shinsuke had it, he wasn't. Rusev won it, and then he hasn't been on TV. So it's for some reason they just do not care about this belt. They don't respect this belt. It shows here, and like I said, it does kind of. I know it's kind of weird me saying it because again, the IC title wasn't even defended on the show, but I don't know. It just feels like it's not a focus of anything right
Well,
now.
God, dude, like in the last 3 years, there's been a small window
Yeah.
where it meant a little bit, but besides that, it's just been a throwaway title.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you remember a couple years ago when Cena won it again? And like it seemed
He
like
was having
they,
his open challenge.
Yeah.
yeah, and it
Yes,
looked like they were going to
yes.
do something huge with it. And Kevin Owens
That was
won
the
it.
Owen debut, right? Owen's debut.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
And so they were really
That's when it
putting that
meant
over.
something. Yes.
Yeah, I guess we'll get into the match here. So it is for the U.S. title, which Rusev is holding at the time of this match. Big kick to Nakamura to start, and then a suplex to Nakamura. Nakamura beats up Rusev outside, beats the count back in, but just barely. There's a fall-away slam to Nakamura, followed by a spin kick. Rusev teases a suicide dive, but Shinsuke kicks him and then moves out of the way. Hits a spin kick to Rusev back in the ring, followed by a nice-looking scissor kick, and then a running knee for a near fall. There's an axe handle by Rusev, and Shinsuke is just like selling his ass off. He's flipping around. He's doing some crazy stuff. And we get a Machka kick, and then a black hole slam. That's what it was. It was a black hole slam. We can call a spade, right?
Yes.
Nice little nod to the newly hired Abyss in NXT. Shinsuke sinks in an armbar, transitions into a triangle. Beautiful transition there. Rusev deadlifts him, and then Shinsuke transitions into the guillotine from that. Rusev taps kind of, but the ref doesn't say anything. So I think what he was trying to do was grab the belt of Shinsuke to set him up into the next spot. But he tapped out. Like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
motion
yeah.
happened.
There's a few times it's
I was
happened.
going to say that happened a few times in this show.
Yeah, it did. This is the first time we noticed it. Eventually, he gets a suplex on a Shinsuke for a near fall. Death Valley Driver for a Nakamura near fall right after that. And then I love this part because Nakamura's like, his facial expressions and like the way he carries himself is like an evil villain from like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yes.
And he's just like, he's like in the corner taking off the turnbuckle pad, but he's like, and he's like taking the turnbuckle pad off, and Lana has her shoes off, and she's like trying to get the referee's attention.
Well, just like one. You're cheating.
Yeah. She's like, you're cheating. And the ref's just like trying to get her down. This whole time, Shinsuke is just diddling with the turnbuckle pad. He eventually does
If he
get
had a
it off.
mustache, he'd be twirling
Yeah,
it.
he eventually does get it off, and then Shinsuke and Lana kind of have a stare down for a moment. Rusev goes to take down Shinsuke. He moves out of the way, and Rusev takes out Lana. She crashes hard onto the apron.
Hurts her ankle real bad.
It was a really weird bump too.
Yeah, it was.
Like she like plopped onto her legs instead of like
Yeah.
you know. Like a regular one.
So Rusev is concerned, obviously, for the well-being of his wife. He goes over to check on her, and then a brutal Kinshasa. I can't say it.
Kinshasa.
Thank you, to the back of Rusev's head, and Shinsuke Nakamura gets the pinfall and is your new, now two-time Universal. I wish.
Nope.
United States champion. This was actually a pretty decent match. It's a shame it was relegated to the pre-show. It went 10.5 minutes, so it got a little bit of time for a pre-show match. I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars.
I also gave it 3 stars. I actually thought it was better than I was expecting.
Yes.
I kind of get a feeling that the pre-show is kind of a demotion.
Yes.
So I feel like if you're on the pre-show, you're probably not going to give it 110% like you should be, because you're essentially being demoted.
And I will say, I don't think that and I honestly believe this. I don't think the company looks at it that way, but I certainly can see where the competitors would look at it that
The
way.
wrestlers absolutely do.
And as a fan, I look at it that way
Yes.
because I feel like this match could have been on the main card. And I don't know what you can take off of the main card.
That's the thing. It was such a stacked
It's such a
card.
stacked card tonight. And, you know, with the Royal Rumbles, you know, you can only fit so much on. So
Right.
I do kind of get it. I will say I was disappointed Rusev lost the belt already. I was hoping to see a good long reign from Rusev there, but maybe bigger and better things. Maybe, you know, we were talking about who's going to be the WrestleMania challenger on the SmackDown side. Maybe that's going to be Rusev.
Rusev, I can
They
totally buy
can't
that.
seem to make up their mind, it seems like, with Rusev.
He's like such a classic case of stop-start booking.
Yes.
That I like haven't seen such a case of this in such a long time, where like he was just getting a main event world title spot in a smaller, albeit smaller pay-per-view, but a pay-per-view, and he had a good match with AJ Styles, and then now he's losing the U.S. title in the pre-show. We'll see what's next for Rusev.
Okay,
sure.
so I gave it 3 stars.
Awesome.
I think you can take out that tag team match in the beginning and give both these guys more time and tell more of a story. However, it did feel at times that they were kind of just going through the motions, which again I think is kind of the mentality with the pre-show.
Yeah.
And I know that I saw Rusev on Twitter earlier. Someone was saying, you know, are you going to be driving a tank out to a Royal Rumble tonight? And Rusev was saying, I'm on the pre-show, buddy. LOL. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, so he obviously feels like he's being relegated, you know, down the ladder too. So
Well, and I mean, in a big part, like that's what led to the downfall of both Neville and Austin Aries.
yeah.
To a lesser extent, in
Here's
the
the thing,
company
man.
was those pre-show cruiserweight.
Here's
title
the thing,
matches.
man. If WWE wants to keep it's the competition's coming, and we all know it. If WWE wants to hold on to some of these superstars, they're gonna have to give them some bigger roles or watch them go be stars somewhere else.
Yeah, that's
And
exactly
it's going to
right.
happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's just a matter of time,
Yep.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
because
pretty much.
it's too crowded of a roster right now.
I agree.
But it's
Speaking of the
exciting.
cruiserweight, shall we move on?
Do it.
Up next, we have, and this is a match I think we all kind of saw being a pre-show match. And I should say, 205 Live is a smaller show. I'm kind of fine with these being pre-show matches because they get the crowd hot. Not a ton of people are going to be watching 205 Live because it is a network exclusive show. So I'm kind of okay with this being a network or a pre-show match. And that is the Cruiserweight Championship match between Hideo Itami, Kalisto, Akira Tozawa, and the champion, Buddy Murphy. This match,
Ruled.
very spicy little match here. Very good little match. Hideo rolls out of the ring to start the match. Kind of takes his time, lets all the other guys fight. Lots of roll-up attempts. Backbreaker by Murphy to Tozawa. Murphy catches Kalisto on Hurricane Rana. Kalisto fights back. There's a missile dropkick from Tozawa to Murphy. Itami finally enters the ring again. Itami and Murphy trade some really stiff slaps. Tozawa goes through. So this is a crazy spot. So Murphy's on the apron. Itami's kind of like working over on the apron. And then Kalisto comes in, right? Was it Kalisto? No, it was Tozawa comes in, goes through Itami's legs, and takes out Kalisto and Murphy, who are both outside at this point. Really cool
suicide
spot.
dive through his legs.
Yeah.
That was sick.
And then Kalisto monkey flips Tozawa outside of the ring onto Murphy on the outside from the apron.
Another 6 spot.
Right, back-to-back cool spots there. There's a rolling Death Valley driver to Itami for a near fall. Then Murphy lawn darts Kalisto into Itami into the corner. There's a flying missile dropkick to Murphy by Tozawa. A little bit of a messy Hurricane Rana to Itami there. And then a suicide dive to Itami by Tozawa. Murphy Topikan Hero takes out everybody outside. And then a spike Hurricane Rana from Kalisto to Murphy for a near fall. I mean, and Kalisto sold his butt off there. His head was just spiked into that mat.
You want to tell everyone that move again? I love it when you do this.
Topikan Hero. Or Hilo. I don't know how to pronounce it. I can feel you belittling me, and I don't like it.
Love
Kalisto
you.
goes. I love you too. Kalisto goes up top, gets super kicked, Powerbomb by Murphy. Tozawa breaks up the pinfall. A big reverse rounder to Murphy. Tommy breaks up the pinfall. It gets a near fall of his own off of that spot. There's a Kalisto near fall on a Tommy after Salina del Sol. Nice false finish there, because that's obviously Kalisto's finishing move. And then after that, Tommy and Murphy trade forearms, and then Tommy gets killed with a kick by Murphy, and then a double super kick to Murphy from Tozawa and Kalisto. There's a stiff punch to Murphy, a knee to Tozawa by Murphy, and then one to Kalisto. Huge knee to a Tommy by Murphy, and then a Murphy's Law to a Tommy to win and retain in 12 minutes. This was 12 minutes. This felt like an X Division match from like 2006.
God.
This was nuts.
This was 12 minutes of just like non-stop balls to the wall action. I loved this match. I give it 4 stars. The Cruiserweights and 205 Live just, I know, like I said, they're kind of their own small, like self-contained, like little unit right now, but they are putting on some of the best work in all of WWE. So 4 stars for me.
I also gave it 4 stars. I thought this was incredible. I thought every single guy looked great. You know, I think when I was watching this match, I really thought there was only 2 guys that could potentially win this match, and that was Murphy and Tommy. But as I'm watching this match, I was starting to kind of feel like both Tozawa and Kalisto had a chance to win it as well. And I thought it brought in a lot of realism that any guy can win, and made you think that anybody can win at any given time. And it was so fast that the match seemed like it was 4 minutes.
Yeah, it flew by.
As Bruce Pritchard said, everyone got their shit in.
Yes,
Yep, they certainly
Yep.
did. They certainly did.
I gave it 4 stars, man. If you didn't catch the pre-show at all, this is the match you want.
Oh yeah,
this is
close to being my match of the night outside of the Rumble
very
matches.
close, man. This is the final match of the pre-show, and what a better way to get him hot for that main card. Buddy Murphy's a beast, dude.
He's so good.
Like,
and that
he
Murphy's
fits in.
Law
Yes,
is a crazy move.
he fits in so well with the Cruiserweights, just being like the man among boys there.
Oh, for sure.
But not being oversized necessarily.
definitely.
There was that one moment, and I don't know, like you touched on it a little bit, but there was one moment where there was like 15 stiff kicks between everyone,
Yeah,
just
it
like
was
in a row,
right
dude.
towards the end of the match.
And there was one where I don't know if Murphy went for an enziguri or something, but it got deflected into into the guy right next to him. Like the kick got like spun.
He took the energy from Murphy's kick and spun it into the guy
and
next to him.
set, like it was just like, ooh,
It was amazing.
ooh, and the Jesus, like
It was
people were just
amazing.
taking shots. It was incredible. 4 stars.
Okay, and with that, the actual Royal Rumble proper begins with a nice little video package, kind of tying in the past, the present, and potentially the future of the Royal Rumble. Again, like we're getting to the point where there's not like a ton to say about these video packages. It was a standard WWE pay-per-view opening video package.
they do so well on these.
They do,
Yes,
and we go
they
right
kill it.
into our first match.
Royal Rumble 2019, sponsored by Golden Crisp
yeah.
cereal.
Okay,
This
guys.
bugged me.
Okay, guys, if anybody's listening here and actually likes Golden Crisp cereal, other than our friend Jordan Kelly, who watched this pay-per-view with us, and there's a lot wrong with him already.
Yeah, and
this
like
is
some
just-
more than Honey Smacks, for God's sakes.
So if you actually like Golden Crisps, let us know, because we think it's fucking terrible.
I feel like this is
It
a
was
last.
with an F-bomb.
I feel like this is. I feel like this is a last-ditch sponsorship effort for them, because they're like, we gotta do something, or like the Golden Crisp Company LLC is gonna shutter forever. Like,
Well, I mean, they're
we have
owned
one
by-
thing to invest in.
I mean, they're owned by like who I don't know, either Post or Kellogg's or something.
Please don't ruin my fantasy, Luke.
All right, sorry, but yeah, I didn't get it either.
It was a weird sponsor.
Our friend Greg says he likes Captain Crunch.
Hey,
That's what he
Greg,
said on the live
I'm
stream.
with you, pal.
Captain Crunch is the goat of
the
breakfast
the
cereals.
peanut butter breakfast ones.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Crunch berry,
and then
but-
after that video package and the sponsorship deal goes through, we get right to our first match, which is going to be the man, Becky Lynch, versus Asuka, who is the current SmackDown Live Women's Champion. And this is for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship crowd. I mean, perfect match to open this card. Perfect match to open
Hot
this
to
card
trot.
because the crowd was so hot for Becky Lynch, and obviously Asuka too. Like both ladies were treated like the stars they truly are and the superstars that they are, and that was really cool to see. Both ladies get a huge reaction here. There's a collar and elbow tie up to start, big strike by Becky, and then Asuka follows that up with some huge forearms of her own. Becky tries for a baseball slide. Asuka avoids it, hits a hip attack to Becky off the apron. Becky kicks Asuka off the apron right after that. There's a Beck splitter to Asuka off of the barricade outside the ring. Snap suplex to Asuka back in the ring for a near fall. Asuka misses another hip attack, and then Becky goes in to knock her down. She hits a rear naked choke into the ropes. Really cool looking spot there. Becky sinks the armbar into Asuka in the corner, and then there's a toe kick to Becky, and then a top rope drop kick to Becky, and then a German suplex to Becky. So Asuka was just bam, 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 getting into nice moves. Hip attack for an Asuka near fall. and then Asuka whiffs on a top rope drop kick, and then it leads to a pump handle Uranagi to Asuka for a Becky near fall. And then Asuka plays possum for a second, sinks in the armbar of her own, then a sleeper. Big forearm strikes to Becky on the apron. She teases the German suplex off the apron, but cannot get it. Lynch teases the apron Bexploder, and then hits Asuka hits this like really weird looking fisherman's swinging neckbreaker to Becky from the apron to the ground. Bit of an awkward spot, but still a super cool one. Like, the impact was really sold on that spot there. By the way, if you hear jingling in the background, that's Kyle's cat. They always decide
It's a studio cat.
Studio cat. They always decide to play like when we're recording and never
before.
But
never
they're great.
after.
They're great cats. So
They are great cats.
So they can
I love
hang
those
out.
cats. Exactly. Just the studio cat. So don't mind that. That was a cool looking spot anyways, that swinging neck breaker off the top, I thought anyways. Becky barely beats the count, but she does. Back in the ring, there's a basement dropkick for a big Asuka near fall. They start trading slaps. Huge spin kick to Becky for an Asuka near fall. Asuka just nailed her right in the noggin with that spin kick. Bexploder from the top rope for a near fall. Becky goes up top, misses a leg drop. Asuka immediately sinks the Asuka lock in, transitions into the disarm her. Becky gets an Asuka lock of her own. Another big kick to Becky. Becky sinks in the disarmer again. There's a roll up for a Becky near fall, and then Asuka gets the Asuka lock in, transitions that into the cattle mutilator, which is like the basically bridging Asuka
The old
lock.
Daniel Bryan finisher,
Locked in, gets locked in. Becky taps out, and Asuka retains 17.5 minutes. This is a good little match, guys.
It was.
Really, really,
I
really good
loved
opener.
it.
It got time. The crowd was hot. There was a lot of nice reversals, a lot of nice submission stealing and finisher stealing spots. I ended up giving it 3.75 stars. Just fantastic way to open the show. Well done, ladies.
I gave it a 4.
Oh.
I thought it
Nothing wrong
started
with
off
that.
a little slow, but then it just got the reversals, the submissions. Becky and Asuka show why they're two of the best in the world.
Yep.
And Becky, I can see why she's so hot right now.
And here's the
in
crazy
world
thing
of
about
wrestling.
Becky. In ring, she's getting better and better every week.
Which is crazy.
I know.
Because she's already great.
Yes, absolutely. I gave it 3.5. It was slow and plodding to start out, but because they gave it that time that it needed,
Yeah.
they were able to tell a good story.
Well, like we were saying with the people who were watching the show with us, like how many WWE matches have we seen where they're attempting to tell that story, but the match doesn't have the time to get out of second and third gear?
Yeah.
And I will admit that the whole like first little chunk of that match, I was kind of worried that was going to be the case.
It was
But
just
thankfully
teeter-totter. Yeah.
Thankfully, it got the time to kind of evolve.
It
into
was just
a more
building itself
contested
up.
affair.
Yeah, it had some sweet spots. A fisherman neck breaker, the Bexploder off the top row. I mean, it was all good. I saw something, Bubba Ray, Bully Ray, whatever you call him, on Twitter, was saying that Becky should have passed out rather than tapped.
Oh,
and
to
that's
keep her,
like,
to keep her.
yeah,
I
to
would've
keep her
liked that.
tough. But you
I
know
would
what?
like that.
I don't know. I don't feel like she's any weaker because of this.
No, I
No,
don't
and she
either.
would get a huge pop a little bit later in the evening.
She
which
does.
we'll
She
get to.
doesn't need to. She doesn't need to match Austin step for step.
Yeah,
So
that's true. So yeah, after that we go to The Miz and Shane O'Mac versus
Shane McMiz.
Yeah, Shane McMahon.
Miz
I'll
O'Mac?
say that. Miz O'Mac versus The Bar for the tag team titles. Of course, The Bar are the current SmackDown Live tag team champions. I will say, so this whole angle has, for the uninitiated, has been The Miz has really wanted to recruit Shane ever since the Best in the World tournament in Saudi Arabia. And The Miz has been wanting to recruit Shane on his team for so long. Finally, Shane gives in. They went after The Bar and have had a pretty decent little storyline leading up to this match. I was not sold on this story.
And I've been trying to talk Zach into liking this for a month.
But I was kind of into this. I
I
was
dig
kind
it.
of
I
into it by
dig
the
it,
time
yeah.
the match came. This might have been the most predictable match on the card.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
me, anyways. Should we get into it?
do it.
So Shane spears Sheamus right as the bell rings, and then The Miz comes in and Cesaro come in. They both size each other up for a while. There's a big uppercut to Miz in the corner, and Sheamus, top 5 uppercut all time, maybe?
Yes.
Sheamus or Cesaro?
Cesaro.
Oh, yeah,
apologize.
Cesaro.
I
Come on,
apologize.
Zach.
Cesaro.
Damn it. Yes,
Top five
Cesaro. Yes,
uppercut?
top 5.
He's got a great
Well, he's
uppercut.
got the best European ever.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so-
Sheamus gets tagged in, and they double team Miz. A lot of heel action here. The heels team, The Bar is getting away with a lot in this match, by the way.
And the ref is not
like a
stopping
lot
it.
of just blatant, like just tag teaming and double teaming, like more than the average tag team match. I'd go so far to say.
Well, they don't set the bar.
They are the bar.
Yeah.
So Cesaro keeps getting involved, but the ref
Nice.
is distracted. The Bar tries to to put Miz through the announce table, but Shane breaks it up at the last second. He puts Sheamus onto the table, or puts Cesaro onto the table. Goes for an elbow drop through the table, but Sheamus gets involved with Miz, and he just does a diving jump onto Sheamus instead. Cesaro rams Shane into the barricade and then back into the ring. The Bar double teaming the Miz. Shane's dead for a while. The Bar double teaming Miz for a near fall. There's a knee drop to the Miz for a near fall, and then I love this part. So Sheamus puts him on the ropes like he's gonna go for the beats of the Ballery, but Miz has like a Shane McMahon-esque jersey on, and Sheamus just rips it right open. The buttons just fly everywhere,
Yeah.
and he hit some of the stiffest those stiffest chest punches I've ever
Well,
seen
yeah,
him
the
do.
forearms.
He was going to town on the Miz. It was great, and I love that visual of the shirt just like being.
I just
ripped
love
open.
that spot. That's one of my favorite Sheamus spots for sure.
Oh, definitely. I agree.
Brutal.
And then there's a suplex to the Miz back into the ring from the apron for a near fall. And then Shane recovers at this point, and he's back on the apron. Sheamus gets back in. Miz is just getting killed forever here. Cesaro in. Axe handles the Miz. Shane finally gets tagged in. The crowd's pretty into it. Corner strikes to Sheamus. There's a DDT to Sheamus for a near fall. Sets up for a coast to coast. Cesaro tags in, and he gets taken out, set on top of Sheamus, and then he goes for the coast to coast. Cesaro catches him and gives him the Cesaro swing in the middle of the ring forever.
That was so long.
Forever he puts him
I
in the
can't
Cesaro
remember who
swing.
he put it on prior. Like, I think there's only been one other time it's been longer.
It
honestly.
was so long.
It was so awesome. And
Props
Shane's like,
to Shane for taking it.
and Shane's
Yeah.
just sitting there like just bracing his head,
The
like,
funny thing
God,
is,
let it
he's
stop,
got one
let it
hand
stop.
behind his head, but then he's like holding his shirt down, but
Yeah.
he's like wearing an undershirt that's tucked in anyway. It's like,
Just
dude,
self-conscious
You
Shane.
don't got to be that self-conscious.
Then we
I'm sure
thought,
you're a
like,
ripped guy.
have we ever seen Shane without his shirt off
I
in a
never
match?
have.
I
don't
haven't
think,
either.
ever. So Cesaro swing forever, and then Shane recovers quite quickly, puts Cesaro in the worst triangle I've ever seen, and there's a knee drop by Sheamus to break that up, and there's a boot by the Miz to Sheamus, double team white noise for a Sheamus near fall. Miz saves Shane, hits a crushing finale to Sheamus, who rolls out of the ring. Shane goes up top, and then Shane hits you guys.
Gorgeous.
You guys. Shane hit a shooting star freaking press onto Cesaro
What? That was
for
nuts.
the 1, 2, 3 new tag team champions. That was my biggest pop of the night, I think.
I think this whole
that
room
stood me up.
went
13
nuts.
minutes. We have new tag team champions. Mizomac, 3.25 stars.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of that is I mean, it wasn't a bad match, but a decent amount of that's coming from that freaking shooting star press.
Oh,
he
God.
pulled that out of nowhere, and
was
everybody in the room,
gorgeous, dude.
everybody in the room popped for that.
This man is 49 years old, in case you're keeping track at home.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, I give it 3.25. Like I said.
All right,
You know, I also gave it 3.25. I had it teetering on 3 until he hit that shooting star press.
I'm right around with you, yeah.
I also loved when they came out. The Miz and Shane McMahon came out, and Miz was wearing a baseball jersey similar to the one Shane McMahon always
Beautiful.
wears.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. And they both go hug Miz's dad at ringside.
I love it.
Yep, good
and the
stuff.
bar had some sweet purple outfits.
Yeah,
the
they were
purple
looking good.
camouflage.
They were looking good.
I gave this one 3 stars. I think what wrestling is doing so good right now, and this is all across the board, whether it's WWE, Impact, anything, especially New Japan, if there's any old wrestlers, they book around their limitations so well. And I
Yeah,
think that's what this match really did. We talked about it during the match, but those Shane strikes still, just kill me. They're not very good. His working punches.
they're horrible. You just gotta take it with a take it
and
with
his
a grain
stomps,
now.
it's just like, God, man, come on.
I will
After all
say,
these years,
and we were talking about this a little bit when we were actually watching the show live, but The Miz has had such a career renaissance,
God.
and to see him get another title now is just, he's working his way up there as the list of one of the best IC champions of all time.
He's just one of those. I don't think anybody will ever say he's the greatest of all time.
But
No,
he's just always
no.
there.
He is a company man through and through, and he's one of those guys that has just done great work.
And for somebody who had all the odds against him, coming in as just a reality
Just
show
a punk kid
snob,
reality star, yeah.
he has evolved into one of the most consistent
yes,
superstars on
solid.
the roster. And congrats to Shane, because he is a tag team champion. Backstage, right after this match, we go backstage. Sasha is being interviewed, and Charlie Caruso is kind of trying to stir the hornet's nest here, because she's just like, pretty much to paraphrase, people say you suck, Sasha. What do you think about that? And
Yeah.
she just says, people can downplay me all they want. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna
Shut up, Charlie.
I'm gonna beat the hell out of Ronda Rousey and win the title. It was really cool, and I'm paraphrasing a
boss.
lot, obviously, but it's not. Sasha kind of had a little bit of that vicious edge back to her,
Yes, she did, which has kind of been missing for a little bit.
and it's so nice.
I
to
need
see
heel
that.
Sasha. I need it in my soul.
I do too, so bad.
We need Sasha to turn on Bailey soon and get that feud going.
and I think they're working us, boys. Because I think the end of this match is leading up to a little bit of something, and they're gonna not blow their load tonight, and they're gonna keep us waiting for a little while. Should we get into the match?
Luke just blew his load, but yeah, get in the match.
Congratulations, Luke.
Thanks.
The match is going to be
First
Sasha.
time.
I remember my first time. The match is going to be Sasha Banks versus
happen
Ronda
sometime.
Rousey, who is the Raw Women's Champion, and this is for the Raw Women's Championship. A little aside, real quick, about Ronda Rousey. The rumors, I'm not going to call it news, but the rumors have come out that she will be leaving briefly the company around WrestleMania time to
Try to start a family.
try and start a family. And I want to say, the big boys and body slams, if that's the case, congratulations. Come back whenever you are ready or want to. Like, we know this,
If.
that, you know, you're a human being and you do what you got to do. And if your current run is over in WrestleMania, you've had one of the best first years I think a superstar
Of
has ever
all
had.
time.
You know what? You can't blame somebody for wanting to go be a human being, you know?
No, and I don't at all. And I
Because-
think that she's entitled to it.
She put her blood, sweat, and tears into the UFC for a very long time.
Strike
Force UFC.
revolutionized.
Yeah, she revolutionized women's MMA. She came to pro wrestling. She's picked it up faster than anybody not named Kurt Angle, and has put on just some stellar matches.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, she's not going to be that good when she comes in," and I got that criticism and I understood it.
I was one of those
I was
people.
skeptical.
but
Yeah.
she blew everybody's mind.
Yeah, including mine. And as I've said before, I mean, ever since that TLC match, that was not that I wasn't already sold on her, but that was like the final nail. Where
Was
it's
that
like,
agree.
Nia?
I
Was that the
agree.
Nia match?
yeah,
Yeah.
TLC. So I just want to
she
say,
carried her.
a friend of the podcast, Ronda Rousey, you do you. Let's get into this match.
Do it.
They trade arm drags as the bell rings. There's a Three Amigos to Sasha, which is not only a callback to Eddie, but it's a callback to a move Sasha has in her own moveset. On the third attempt, though, Sasha counters it. Ronda counters that into the armbar. Sasha gets to the ropes. A huge stiff slap to Ronda by Sasha, followed with a kick to Sasha's belly. She rolls out of the ring to catch her breath, that being Sasha. There's a suicide dive to Ronda. Back into the ring for a near fall. Double knees to Sasha in the corner by Ronda. There's a running knee to Ronda for a near fall by Sasha. A huge torquing armbar to Ronda.
Vicious.
She had her arm like
Hyperextended.
and then she grabbed the other arm and wrenched that back too. Really, really, really good looking spot. She transitions that slowly into the bank statement. Ronda does escape, hits the Piper's Pit to Sasha, which is kind of like a Samoan drop type maneuver. Ronda hits a triangle over the ropes to Banks. Really good looking spot there. Superplex to Ronda for a near fall by Sasha. There's a hip toss for a Ronda near fall. A couple judo throws, and then
That looks
those
sick.
judo tosses by Ronda, like blink of an eye, you miss it. Like
You know
if you
what's-
blink during
Well,
the spot,
and she's
it's
only
over.
been doing them for
I was
her
gonna say,
whole life.
you know
Yeah,
what's
true.
crazy too though is like I bet these are so smooth because she's been doing them so long that
Yeah,
she's
for sure.
She's taught judo and stuff before, so she's probably just whipping Sasha around, and Sasha's just loving every minute of
Oh,
it.
I'm sure. I'm
Soft
sure.
bumps, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So they both Ronda rolls out of the ring to catch her breath. Sasha gets caught in a suicide dive attempt. She gets put into the armbar. Sasha's tapping, but outside of the ring, and apparently Ronda doesn't know the rules because she gets mad at that. So she throws her back inside. There's a knee to Sasha for a near fall. Ronda gets tossed pretty hard into the bottom turnbuckle. Double stomp to Ronda's injured arm. She'd been selling the arm from the armbar previous. There's a bank statement to Ronda. She uses, and then, so at one point, while Sasha was selling her own arm injuries, she took off like the little arm band that she has, and she straight up just draped it across Ronda's mouth and was just yanking on it in that bank
Yeah.
statement spot.
Choked her.
Really, really, really cool looking. There's a double stomp. Oh, I already said the double stomp. So yeah, that was a nice spot, a good tease there. She stomps on her arm as she goes for the ropes. Stomps on her hand so she can't put the hand on the ropes. She eventually rolls out of it, gets rolled into a backslide for a Ronda near fall and into an armbar of her own. There's a gut wrench slam to Sasha by Ronda, nice deadlift gut wrench slam, and then a judo drop to Sasha. I missed the name of it. That's her finisher though. For the win, Ronda retains by pinfall in 14 minutes.
I thought you called it the Piper's Pit. What's the Piper's Pit? Is that
It's
the Samoan drop
Yeah,
spin?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what she hit at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the finish in 14 minutes. Very entertaining match. Man, Ronda's good. Sasha's really good. I'm going to give my match a star rating first, and then I'll go into what happened post match.
Okay.
I give the match 3.5 stars. Really, really good match. I mean, again, just the Ronda proving that she is a legitimate professional wrestler, and she's working with one of the best. So this was a recipe for success.
Maybe I was just so into this show, but I gave it 4 stars. I thought this match just had so much
Is this your
drama.
third 4-star match?
Yeah, in a row, dude.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I guess not in a row because I guess the Shane McMiz match was in there in the middle.
yeah.
That's okay.
But dude, there was just so much drama and storytelling into this match, and like Ronda and Sasha are just so good, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Like I was just like, oh, I want more. I'm gonna be honest. I used to not enjoy women's wrestling. That was like my piss break.
it was,
Yeah,
Yeah. For sure.
Now
It was
I'm
most people's.
sitting here watching this show, and I'm like, when do I go piss?
Yeah.
On the end of my seat.
Like-
on the edge of your
Like,
seat. Yeah.
do I just need to get something in my pants that can just like
Absorb it.
A catheter?
A diaper?
yeah, like a catheter or a diaper or something because I don't want to miss a thing.
That's like the state of these pay-per-views now. Like, there's no like.
It's
piss
6
break
hours where
matches,
you
really.
can't go
Yeah.
poop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Luke, what did you think of the match?
I gave it 3 3/4. I like this one better than the Becky Lynch match, just because
wow. Okay.
the story they told with the joint manipulation, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Sasha, even though she's had this back and forth, she's been with Bailey, so she's kind of been in the background a little bit, but she's still so over. The crowd was cheering for her a lot more than Ronda.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I like this or not, and she's done this a lot. Ronda yells at the crowd like, "You're saying I can't wrestle?" And then continues to beat the crap out of Sasha.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I think it just feeds into her like really, and if there's one slight you've always been able to give to Ronda, it's that she feeds into what the media and what her fans and her critics alike say of her, and I think that it can kind of manifest itself, and that was kind of like a little crack there that she showed where she was kind of like calling out her people who don't really respect her as a wrestler, and just you gotta learn to let that stuff go.
She got some jeers.
Yeah. I also want to throw out that I really appreciate her naming a move after Roddy Piper.
Oh, for sure.
Because
she's given so many tributes to him.
He's one of my favorites of all time, and I think he's one of the most underrated of all time.
I agree.
I don't think the Hulkamania era would have been as big without the foe.
No way.
Yeah. So I think it's great that she had such a close relationship with the man, and she's able to show the respect that he deserves, and that show that she cares about him. You know?
So 3 3/4. The joint manipulation was incredible in this match. They both were awesome storytellers.
So post match, Ronda helps Sasha up. They kind of embrace a little bit in the ring, and then Ronda separates the ropes so Sasha can leave. She gets about and by the way, the camera work for this entire post match segment was the best I've seen in WWE in years. As far as
that's coming from the videographer.
As far as like in arena, because they hit all their spots here. It was really well done. So Sasha gets to about halfway down the aisle and she stops. She gets this like really like evil Sasha face, like this contorted face.
This grin.
She turns back around. She goes to Ronda. Left-handed handshake, by the way. Don't know how I feel about that. Does a left-handed handshake. She holds up the 4. Obviously a call to the 4 horsewomen of NXT. She goes back up the ramp. She stops again, gets another evil smirk, and you think for sure she's coming back a second time. She does not, and that's the end of the segment. So a little sprinkling of maybe a Sasha Banks who's
tickle.
Just too much and is going to snap soon. I hope that's what we get because Sasha Banks has been one of my favorite heels in wrestling.
Such a good heel.
She's so good.
Shall we move on?
Yep.
Up next, the first Royal Rumble match of the evening, the Women's Royal Rumble. Brief explanation of the rules, which obviously is you have to get thrown out over the top rope, land with both feet, and only your feet. Both feet have to touch the ground to be an elimination. If every part of your body touches the ground, but one of the bottoms of your feet, you're still in the match.
We're starting to get some convoluted stuff going on here.
This is starting to get kind of a ridiculous.
It kind of came to light in this show here, starting with this match.
If you land on both butt cheeks, man, I mean.
And number one, you got to be out, right?
Yes.
I'm totally with you. Number one is, of course, I'd say of course like it was predictable. It's Lacey Evans, and
she looks good.
She's great, and she did look a little green here, but I mean her first exposure on the main roster in ring is being number one in the huge arena in the Women's Royal Rumble.
And she got a promo, dude.
Yeah,
she got a little promo time. She pretty much introduced herself. So if you're not aware, her whole gimmick is she's like this very old fashioned like vintage,
which I hate the music for.
She has like this like poppy like bow 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 like song. She should be coming out to like a big band tune or something.
Yeah,
you know.
I agree.
I totally agree.
I say I agree as I said. That was me
who
who brought up the
pointed
point.
it
Yeah,
out.
I'm getting tired,
Luke,
guys.
do you agree?
I in fact do
Thank
agree.
You. But Lacey Evans is number one. She got a short
She reminds
promo
me if anyone's
herself.
ever watched the Netflix series Glow, which is obviously based on the old wrestling promotion, but she reminds me a lot of the blonde main character. Liberty Bell is her wrestling name there. So
cool. Should we get into it?
Carbon copy.
So I'm just gonna read. We got a lot of notes to go through on this show.
Yeah,
so
just go by.
I hope you like my voice because you're gonna be hearing a lot in the next few minutes. So, of course, Lacey Evans is number one. After she cuts her promo, number two comes out. It's Natalya. We get a nice double dropkick segment. Natalya tries to send Evans off. She fights her off. There's a hurricane run to Lacey Evans. Time for number three to come out. It's Mandy Rose.
Oh, yes.
You and Corey Graves both, buddy. Mandy lifts up Natalya, tries to throw her out, hits a double sharpshooter to Mandy and Lacey. So both ladies in the ring got put in a sharpshooter. So at first, I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. This is dumb. And then once she rolled her over and had her in the spot,
it
I was
looked
like,
good.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was a pretty cool spot. And then Mandy lifts up Natalya, tries to throw her out. Oh, that's the double sharpshooter. I just said that. Liv Morgan comes in at number 4, eliminated immediately.
This was my biggest angry moment.
She only
of the
had
night.
enough time to literally run from the entrance ramp side of the ring to the announce table side of the ring, and then she got tossed out.
Yep.
And that was it. Goodbye.
God
Lacey
damn.
Evans pulls out a hanky, like she wipes herself with it, and then throws it onto Mandy Rose and Natalya, who were like in the corner. Okay. Ember Moon comes in.
She's classy, bro.
Oh, sorry. Number 5 is Mickie James. She comes in at this point.
The legend.
Mickie takes everyone out. Nice spin kick by Mickie to Natty. A little bit of a messy sequence.
She whiffed a kick and a punch.
Yeah, and then there's a little bit of a messy sequence where Mandy is trying to like stay in the ring, but Mickey's like trying to eliminate her. A little bit messy, but we did get a cutaway because Ember Moon came in at number 6 to a fairly large pop, but considering she has not been featured on television, the crowd was very
Dude, what
excited
the
to
heck,
see her.
man?
She's so good, dude.
We're waiting on this.
I know.
I don't know what they're waiting for.
She'll get her spot. She'll get her
she
spot.
needs it.
And she had a good showing here. She gets up at the top, hits a crossbody to take out James and Natalya. A facebuster from Ember to Lacey. Lacey Evans gets put up top, and then Mandy and Natalya try throwing her out. Can't quite get there. Number 7 is the first of the Iconics, which is going to be Billie Kay. She comes out to the ring. She thinks twice about getting in, though.
She's just yelling, man.
She's just
screaming.
And she essentially says that she's going to wait to get into the ring until Peyton Royce comes out, which, hey, to her credit, that's a good strategy. You want to wait until your partner's in to come in. So she's going to wait. And Nikki Cross comes in at number 8, takes out Billie Kay on her way to the ring. She gets in, climbs up top, and just takes everyone out with a diving splash. Lacey Evans saves herself from an elimination. There's a bulldog to Mickie by Nikki. I like that. It rhymes. Billie Kay enters the ring to get revenge on Nikki Cross for taking her out. And then Peyton Royce comes in soon after that, hits a rolling Death Valley driver to Cross. She helps Billie Kay up, and there's a Hurricane Rana by Ember to Royce. Ember holds onto the ropes, and then Tamina comes in at number 10. She Samoan drops Ember, which was a clean, and these next ones weren't clean, though. And then Peyton Royce, and then Billie Kay. She's just dropping people, like, recklessly all over the ring. Come on, Tamina. You're too experienced to be doing that.
Yeah, she doesn't want to do anything like her dad did. And
through the middle rope goes Kay, but no elimination. She gets back into the ring. There's a super kick to Ember, a messy splash to Nikki, seated senton from Mickie to Tamina. Mickie gets super kicked out of the ring, and she is gone.
God, that was dumb. Mickie deserved a longer spot.
Number 11, I agree. Number 11 is Xia Li, who was, of course, a competitor. She very part-time on NXT, and she was in the Mae Young Classic, which is interesting because that's like kind of like your first like surprise entrant. I don't count Lacey Evans because it was kind of obvious that she was going to be in the match because she's getting called up.
Duh.
So like this was like the first like big surprise. So I could see if you aren't a hardcore fan why you'd be a little bit let down with this because half of the people in the room we were watching with, who are all diehards, didn't really know who she was. So you really only know who she was if she was in the Mae Young Classic, unfortunately. But she looked okay. There's some strikes to Tamina. She hits a spinning kick onto her and then kills Lacey Evans with a spin kick. Sarah Logan's in at number 12 now. She slams Ember down when she gets in the ring. Ember teeters off the apron, but she recovers. And then Nikki Cross gets eliminated really unceremoniously.
So stupid.
Just tossed right out of the ring.
She looked so good.
And the crowd did not like this.
They shit all over that.
They booed the heck out of this when she got thrown out. They did not care for that elimination at all. And I agree. Charlotte is 13. She spears Logan. T-bone suplex to Evans. The Iconics both get thrown out of the ring.
But we didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, it wasn't clear if they went through the middle rope or the top rope. They were kind of like draped on the apron, but we never saw them again, so I guess they are eliminated. Goodbye, Iconics. Thank you for coming.
There were a few unceremonious, like...
There were, yeah. Xia Li then gets eliminated by Charlotte. Number 14 is Kairi Sane. Yay, she comes into a nice pop.
Yay, she's a pirate.
Nice. Tamina gets eliminated by Charlotte while she's making her way to the ring. There's a forearm from Sane to Logan. Charlotte and Sane trade chops, and there's an insane elbow to Logan. Love that elbow drop. Love that elbow drop.
Gorgeous.
Should that be a ditty that we do? Should that be a callback? Man, that was good.
Love.
It's a good elbow drop. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a good elbow.
elbow.
Logan is eliminated by Natty and Kairi Sane. Then they high five. And then Marianne Kanellis is number 15.
The Power of Love.
I love that song.
And I love Maria Kanellis.
I know you do, buddy. There's a bulldog to Lacey and Charlotte, and then an X Factor to Ember, and then Kanellis teases the Bronco Buster, but Charlotte spears her inside, freaking out. Then Naomi is in at 16. Obviously goes right for Mandy Rose. Tries to suplex her to the outside, but she can't quite get it. There's a big kick to Naomi, and then Mandy is out, and then Naomi gets pushed outside, but her feet don't touch the ground, so she crawls over to the barricade, balances on the barricade, nearly falls off, by the way, balances all the way over to the steel steps, and she has this leap that I wasn't sure if she could make, but man, she stuck it. She stuck that leap. She hits it beautifully, and she is safely back on the steel steps. She's going to get back into the ring, but Mandy is waiting, pulls her down for the elimination, mugs to the camera, and the crowd gets a lot of good heat here. And then Mandy and Naomi just start brawling. Evans gets thrown out here. So typically when you see a spot like this, when you see Lacey Evans get pulled out like that, typically what would happen is all the refs had their back turned, so the elimination wouldn't count. We thought that's maybe what we were going to get here, but we didn't, and Lacey Evans just walked to the back while the brawl was happening. So
once again, another one that just was like
a little confusing.
She might be eliminated, maybe.
Yeah.
But she was.
Yeah, so Evans is thrown out. And then number 17, Candice LeRae, very nice surprise entrant, hits a top rope drop kick to Ember right off the bat. Ember tries throwing her out, but she fights back. There's a gut buster from Ember to Candice, a sit-out powerbomb from Natalya to Charlotte.
I marked out for Candice.
Oh, yeah, me too. And the ring is getting pretty full at this point, so it's getting really hard to call some of this action. Number 18 is Alicia Fox. Drop kicks everybody. And then Maria wants the truth. This was really weird.
Did you get the Naomi spot?
What Naomi spot?
The one where she saves by like corkscrewing across the apron?
Yeah, I said that.
He did.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
By the way, Naomi didn't do that. That was Kofi later. She walked on the barricade.
God damn it.
I know. You have your Mr. and Mrs. Rumble, and they're both doing different things, but I did mention it.
Love you.
I love you too. So where was I? Oh, so this part's really weird, by the way. So Maria Kanellis decided that she wants to have like a truce with Mandy Rose, or not Mandy Rose, with Alicia Fox. And at first she's like, I'm not going to do it, but then she gives in. They're like, yeah, let's do it. And then they like beat some people up, and then Maria Kanellis puts on Alicia's hat and then like takes it off and starts stomping on it for some reason, even though they're supposed to be friends.
And this hat no-sells the hell out of her stomps.
Yeah, the hat is just not going
Made of
down like, at
titanium.
all. This must have been encrusted with diamonds because it was not
Jeez.
giving at all. So for some reason, apparently that was the shortest ever alliance. And then number 19 is Casey Catanzaro. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Casey. And then Maria Kanellis gets eliminated by Fox when she's on her way to the ring. So again, another like kind of like replay-driven elimination where we had to see it on replay.
Well, and Fox did like a little temper tantrum too after.
Oh yeah,
Kanellis
after
on
she
her
stomped on her hat, she like
did one of the classic.
laid down and started taking bumps for some reason and throwing a temper tantrum. That was a bad sequence, man. I gotta call a spade a spade.
Yep.
That was bad.
But Maria's beautiful.
So yeah, Kanellis is gone, and then Fox almost gets eliminated by Casey, but she fights it off. And then Zelina Vega comes in at 20. She faces off against LeRae.
Whoa. What does Zelina Vega look like? She has the claw and the mask as Vega from Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, she's just
that
like
was
Vega.
so sick.
And that was awesome. So I'm sure
Video
you like
game
that,
nerds out
Greg.
there.
I'm sure you were a big fan of that because you were going off about Vega the other day. I'm
True.
sure you like that. So Zelina Vega is in at 20. She faces off against LeRae, obviously calling back to their history in NXT.
Yep.
They brawl. Ruby Riott comes in at 21. She's accompanied
With
the rest of the Riot Squad,
her friends.
Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. They pull Charlotte under the bottom rope, so she's not eliminated. They beat her up really good, and then Candice gets powerbombed into the barricade by the Riot Squad, and then tossed back in, and then eliminated by Ruby Riott. And then Vega, she pieces out at this point and goes under the ring. And this was really well timed because every time anytime there was a shot of the apron, she would like perfectly peek out. And it happened like 3 or 4 times. And there had to been a lot of like organization to make that happen. And it was very well executed.
Someone was
it.
calling that spot to her for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed it. And then Dana Brooke comes out at number 22, a big set out powerbomb to Casey, and then Brooke gets pulled out of the ring and beat up by the Squad. And then Sane is eliminated by Riot. While that's happening, Vega peeks out again, and then the Riot Squad beats up Sane outside. Io Shirai comes in at 23. She does her best to take out the Riot Squad, and then comes in and moonsaults them, goes up top, moonsaults them down to the floor. She has such a good moonsault.
Gorgeous.
Oh, it's so great.
Better than Charlotte's?
I agree. Yeah, I'd say so.
It's really good.
I'd say so. The nice thing about Charlotte is she's so tall that she can like fold her body in half.
It's incredible.
But man, Io's is very good. And then the Riot Squad's gets taken out momentarily after that. And then Rhea Ripley is in at number 24.
Pete Dunne's sister.
Yeah, sure. Rhea Ripley's in at 24.
They look very
the
similar.
inaugural
They do.
UK Women's Champion. So she's over on NXT UK. Very talented. She's going to be great. And then she comes in. Casey's outside. She gets thrown out, but her feet don't touch. She does a handstand over to the ring post and then like flips her body up and like monkey climbs up the ring post.
That was so sick.
It was really cool. Climbs up the apron and then she goes for a crossbody to Ripley, who catches her and then suplexes her out of the ring. So that was all for nothing. There's a single leg drop kick by Ember to Ripley. Sonya Deville comes in at 25. There's a spear to Ember. Charlotte finally comes back in after getting beat up by the Riot Squad. There's a cartwheel splash to Deville, and then Ripley eliminates Brooke. And then Hornswoggle is out from under the ring, right
little
next to
bastard.
Vega. Little bastard Hornswoggle, and starts chasing Vega around the ring.
This was hilarious.
Who's like terrified of him for some reason.
For some reason.
Okay.
She got chased out by a leprechaun from
That's
under the
true.
ring.
So she chases Vega out, and she ends up back in the ring. She gets tossed by Ripley, and then Hornswoggle chases her away, and who knows what happened after that. Number 26 is Alexa Bliss to a huge
Wow.
pop. And then I loved this spot. I've never seen her do this. So she gets back into the ring, and she does a moonsault, a standing moonsault. But instead of landing with her body, she extra rotates and lands like into a knee drop. Like a double knee
She's so
drop.
awesome.
It
I'm
was
so glad
cool.
to see
I'm
her.
happy she's home.
Yes.
And she delivered that to Ember, and there's a sunset flip to Charlotte by Alexa. Deville is eliminated by Alexa Bliss, and then Bayley comes in at 27. Bayley sends Riot out. Ripley gets sent out by Bayley with a huge back body drop. She's eliminated, and then Lana's in at 28, but guys.
She's
She-
hurt from earlier.
She's
She
selling her
cannot
injuries from the
walk.
pre-show. She's comes out like, I don't know how they cleared her to come out in the first place, because she like has like a cast on one of her legs.
and she's limping.
She can't even get her boot on. She's hobbling out to the ring, but she can't get there. She stops halfway down. The trainers come out to talk to her. And then Nia Jax comes in at 29. She stops on the way out and just beats up Nia. Or she
Lana.
beats up
Yep.
Lana. And Nia, come on. You were the one that said bullying's not okay. Just a few months before this. And now you can't just be beating people up. That's bullying, Nia.
She punched someone in the face and she just changed her
She
ways.
changed her mind, I guess.
She
was
got
not very
bullied and
nice.
just turned on everybody.
It certainly was not nice. She eventually does get in the ring. Shirai moonsaults herself on a Jax. And by the way, having Nia Jax come in at this spot was very deliberate, because it's worth noting that we knew who number 30 was, and that was going to be Carmella.
Yep.
Everybody in the
Dance
arena,
break.
every single person in the arena wanted number 29 to be Becky Lynch, and having it be Nia Jax was a perfect way to get some heat on her, and heat it certainly got, because she was booed and booed hard as she made her way to the ring. Natalya gets thrown out by Nia here, and this is after Io Shirai gets thrown out after she tried to moonsault Nia Jax and gets caught. And then Carmella comes in at number 30. There's a hurricane run of Jax, and then the crowd starts going crazy. We cut to the entrance ramp, and Becky Lynch is cutting a deal with her old pal,
the
Fit Finlay.
Baxter.
And he's saying, you know, her case is, since Lana cannot compete in the match, I should be the new number 28 entrant. Finley signs off on it. Her music plays, and she runs to the ring to a monumental pop.
Pop, 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 pop.
Might have been the biggest pop of the night.
Oh, it was
the
up
crowd
there.
was
Yes.
rabid for her as she came out. It was so great just to see them so into her. She goes in, hits a hurricane run to Nia Jax. Oh, I'm sorry, that was not her. That was Carmella that did that. Finley gives her the blessing. She goes in. Right for Nia. Some stiff strikes to Nia, by the way. A little receipt for what she did to her face on, on Monday Night Raw.
There was a little bit of spite in those
some heat.
punches.
For sure. Some stiff strikes, and then she's on the apron about to get eliminated, but she hits a Luthez press to Charlotte, and the crowd goes insane for this.
You know why she did that.
Austin.
Yep.
Exactly. The crowd knew it too.
Becky 316, bro.
The crowd knew it too. And then she gets up, hits a top rope missile dropkick to Nia. Alexa and Ember Moon are fighting on the apron. And then Alexa just slams her down onto the apron, and Ember falls, and she is gone. And then hits a Bronco Buster. Somebody hits a Bronco Buster to Alexa. I didn't write who it was. Oh, it's Carmella, because that's removed. There's a super kick by Carmella. And then Alexa is eliminated by Bayley at this point.
And Carmella.
Yes. Charlotte tosses Bayley with the T-bone suplex, and then Charlotte gets up top. Carmella goes after her, but Charlotte fights her off. There's a big boot by Charlotte, which eliminates Carmella, and then a neckbreaker to Charlotte by Becky. Bayley gets eliminated at this point. Becky rolls out of the ring. Charlotte goes for a Death Valley driver, but drops Nia Jax right on her head, and then just picks her up again, sets her onto the apron, and then Becky pulls her down from outside of the ring for the elimination. And now we're down to just Becky and Charlotte. Nia takes out Becky.
As it should be.
Yes. So Nia takes out Becky and just destroys her knee. And there's a long spot where Charlotte's kind of in the ring, like soaking up the heat from the crowd. Becky's trying to decide if she can continue on with the match or not, and decides she can. She gets into the ring. She's really hobbled, but she wants to fight. And Charlotte's just working over the knee. And then there's an enziguri to Charlotte, and then Charlotte gets up on the apron, and she kicks Becky away. And there's a suplex to Lynch, and then Becky eliminates Charlotte for the win in 1 hour and 11 minutes, and she is the winner of the second ever Women's Royal Rumble.
Yay! Woo!
This was a pretty good Rumble match, guys. I don't think it was as good as last year's Women's Rumble. There were a few spots that were kind of iffy, but there were also a lot of fun spots too.
Well, they packed last year's Rumble with
Yeah,
they really
legends,
did.
and yeah, they tried to make it as awesome
But
of
to
an
their
inaugural.
credit, they didn't have to do that this year.
No,
Their
that's true.
roster's
They
so
have a
deep.
deep roster now
Yeah.
of women. There are only a few NXT people in there, and mostly names that we recognize.
You bet.
For 99% of it. I thought this was a good little match. I'm excited to see if Becky goes to Raw, if she goes back to SmackDown to face off with Asuka again. I think she's going to Raw, and we'll get that Ronda Rousey match. So it's fun when long-term booking works out,
Yes,
and I
sir.
think
Yeah.
that's the seeds
Yes,
that
sir.
we've
Well,
been
they
planting
didn't.
for that.
One thing they didn't do this year that they did last year, they didn't ask him right after they won.
Yeah.
Who they wanted to face.
I'm sure if we look at Becky's Twitter, she'll be saying something soon.
She's going to be facing Ronda.
I give it 3.25 stars. Good
Ronnie.
little Rumble match. What did you guys think?
I gave it 3.5.
Ooh.
I had it really low at first, through about the first half. And then business started to pick up, and we all knew Becky was going to come out. But it didn't change that it was the right call. I loved every minute of it, the whole Becky stuff. There were some cool spots. I'm kind of getting irritated with some of the Naomi, Kofi Kingston, like, weird stuff, the Casey Costanzo or whatever. Like, there's just
Catanzaro.
Catanzaro, yeah.
yeah, there's just some weird stuff
Catanzaro.
that I don't think
adds up with the being thrown out and saving yourself. But nice little match. I thought everybody got their stuff in too. So 3.5.
All right, Luke, what'd you think?
Heck yeah. I gave it 3 stars. First 10 or so, kind of as Kyle mentioned, were meh. But then it really started to pick up, and the fans got what they wanted. Royal Rumble seems like it's a really good place for WWE to swerve, bro. And,
Yeah, for sure.
And this time, the fans got exactly rewarded with what they were looking for. I love that they're really seeing this Stone Cold comparison, and they're just embracing the hell out
It's
of it.
totally warranted too. Yeah,
With the Luthez press and everything.
I agree.
So, I mean, fans got what they wanted. The 3-star match. It wasn't as stacked as last year, but of course, it's not going to be,
Yeah,
the
for
inaugural is supposed to be stacked.
I will say, so obviously, and this is a bit of a sidebar, so if we want to move along quickly, we can, but I have to say this. WWE said it was right around Christmas time that there was kind of a new direction happening, and that they were going to start listening to the fans. And I think a lot of us kind of poo-pooed that notion when they first brought it up. But I think this was the first time we really saw it in action. And I am very excited for a lot of what we saw on this show and just a lot of what we see even with the television product. And I'm cautiously optimistic that we really are maybe entering a new era for WWE booking. And Becky winning the Rumble was just emblematic of that to me. Because they actually are going to follow through with the obvious story. And just because it's obvious doesn't mean it's bad. And in this case, it's
Right.
very, very good.
Right.
And so I think seeing them actually follow through with this more than likely is a very positive thing.
Well, I mean, God,
Yes.
dude, during the Austin era, every single week, the WWE was giving the fans what they wanted.
Yeah.
Austin was kicking somebody's ass.
Yep.
And, I mean, yes, there were the downfalls, but it was just enough to keep them holding on, so.
Yeah. Shall I move on?
Heck yeah.
All right, up next, we get a video package hyping up the WWE title match, which is going to be AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan.
Fickle.
Fickle.
The new Daniel Bryan,
Fickle.
who, of course, is the champion.
Fickle.
And this is for Stop
Fickle.
the fickle, guys.
You're fickle.
Trying to run a podcast here.
Sorry, we're being fickle.
Dude, am I just going to get shit thrown at me every week now? Huh?
Luke, I'm really sorry about that.
Thanks.
We'll check it out.
Oh, God. Oh, good save.
Too sweet.
Love you.
Hey,
Okay. Yeah.
Security, can you escort Luke out?
He's a little out of control tonight. And of course, this has been a very good feud, and
I never want it to end.
I wanted to see.
Ever.
I wanted to see if this was going to be the end. Speaking of ending, I was interested to see if this was going to be the end of this feud or not.
But
and I
nay.
kind of came away with more questions than I have answers.
But good
I
questions.
hope they're like 70 and still fighting for this title.
I could watch it forever,
Fight
man. And
forever.
Daniel Bryan right now, and we've said this
Stop.
before, just like on asides or on pay-per-views we've reviewed recently. But Daniel Bryan right now, man, the run he's on, I'm convinced it's the
Dude.
best run of his career. Like
These,
he is
like-
on fire right now.
These liberal promos he's cutting
Are
on people
so
right
good.
now.
They're funny.
Calling Vince McMahon, the representation of
boomer
the baby boomer
generation.
generation, how much they've just take.
I love it.
And the whole vegan thing.
I
and-
absolutely am
God,
eating
he's
up, dude.
killing it,
I'm eating
man.
up every
And he
minute
stomped
of
on
it.
a burger.
Yeah, that was in the pre-show. He stomped on that
Yeah.
like that Rumble burger.
Heart
Get-
attack on a
the,
bun,
Take
yeah.
the coleslaw off that, and I'll eat that bitch all day.
It looked good. It looked good to me. Let's get into this match. This is for the title. They brawl into the corner to start. There's a nice arm drag by AJ. They trade chops. AJ gets sent hard to the outside by
So
Bryan.
can I say I had like a little mental tick when AJ got thrown to the outside. I was like, "Oh, this match is over." Like AJ
That's
got
it.
eliminated.
Royal Rumble. He's eliminated.
Yeah.
Bryan wins the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Go ahead.
AJ gets sent into the corner post outside, and then Daniel stomps on AJ's wrist. Back inside, there's a pinfall attempt. Double underhook slam into an armbar by Bryan. Really, really nice. Really smooth. AJ fights him off. He gets to the ropes. There's some strikes to AJ's nose, which had been a little bit bloodied earlier in the match, so kind of nice consistency to actually see somebody working over a real-life wound, and he was just giving him strikes right to that bad nose. And then there's a backbreaker into a neckbreaker to Bryan for an AJ near fall, and then dueling roll-ups, and then a dragon screw leg whip to Bryan, which looked really good by AJ, and then a corner drop kick to AJ by Bryan, a full Nelson suplex to AJ for a Bryan near fall. Styles teases an Avalanche Styles clash, but then Bryan recovers and just kicks AJ right outside the ring, right off the top rope. That looked pretty brutal. Daniel goes for an apron spear. AJ moves out of the way and then knees Daniel to the ground. AJ's on the barricade, and then he does a moonsault off of the barricade and then hits the reverse DDT onto Bryan. Oh boy.
Sick.
So good.
We're getting wild here.
Oh man. I love that moonsault spot that he does into the reverse DDT always looks great, but there's something about when he does it off of the barricade outside, it just looks even better, and it was great. I loved it. I was
Same.
really into this match, but I will say while I find where I was. I will say that the crowd was starting to get a little sleepy here, I think, because they weren't very hot for this match.
Dude, it seems like lately when they have by the time they get to Styles and
People
Bryan,
are just like ready to go home.
yeah, that's what happens when you have a 7-hour show. But
Yeah.
continue.
I agree. AJ goes for a springboard 450 back in the ring, and Daniel just gets his knees up and kills him, and then he sinks in the label lock, which is the yes lock, but he named it the label lock once again. And then he wrenches on the injured nose and just pulls, like, fish hooks his nostrils and just yanks up on it. Oh, that looks so good.
I love it.
Oh, that looks
I
so
love it.
good. And then AJ counters out of that, sinks in the calf crusher. Daniel Bryan gets to the ropes. Not Christopher Daniels. He's not in this match. There's an enziguri by Bryan. Some yes kicks to AJ. I'm still calling them yes kicks. And then a huge kick to AJ for a Bryan near fall. And then Bryan grabs AJ's hands and then just like starts kicking the hell out of him in the head. You know that spot he's been doing lately.
Just stomping on him.
I love it. I love it. I love this like new attitude, Daniel Bryan. AJ headbutts Daniel on the top rope. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but that's okay. Bryan crotches AJ on the top rope and then hits a back suplex off the top. AJ rolls through it though, kind of lands on his feet, and then he sinks in the calf crusher. AJ goes for a backslide, but Daniel fights free. There's a brainbuster to Daniel Bryan for a near fall by AJ, and then AJ goes for the phenomenal forearm, and Daniel just kicks him down hard, and then he fights back, goes for it again, gets kicked again when he lands, fights back with the Pele kick, and then Eric Rowan. The Eric Rowan.
Did you get the ref bump?
Oh, no, it didn't happen yet. I'll get
Okay.
to it, though.
Okay.
Eric Rowan saunters out to the ring.
With a Charles Manson shirt on and a flannel.
Yeah, he's wearing a flannel, so I think we know who he's going to line himself with here.
See, I called it.
So at this point, I'm like, what is going on? And then Mike Chioda gets hit with an enziguri after AJ ducks out of the way. Bryan just decks him with this enziguri. And then Styles rolls into the Styles Clash, hits it. There's no one to count the three. And then Eric Rowan comes into the ring, doesn't choke slam. He palm slams him.
The
He
claw.
palms his face and then slams him. And then Daniel Bryan recovers from the Styles Clash, gets the pinfall. Chioda recovers. 1, 2, 3. Fellas, what the heck is going on?
I love it.
I loved this.
I hope we are getting into like a Manson family type,
Yeah.
not like a Wyatt family thing, but like a Manson family thing where like
They're freak environmentalists.
Bryan can be like, do this, and they'll go do it for him. You know, because Charles Manson never killed anyone. The people did it for him.
Yep.
So I'm thinking
True.
that Bryan's going to start this little family of like, I don't know, liberal Nazis, I guess. I don't know.
And the
Liberal
crowd,
Nazis.
so
Yeah.
after the match, they get up, they embrace a little bit, and then Rowan holds AJ up, allows him to hit the single leg drop kick, and then they hold up his title and they leave together. The crowd is stunned. They don't know what to make of this. I loved it. This is going to be the start of something very exciting for
Yes.
SmackDown Live. I
Yep.
think.
Yes.
I
And
agree.
I'm excited to see if anybody else kind of gets initiated or gets on board. The match itself, I gave 3.25 stars. I did enjoy the match a lot. The crowd brought it down a tiny bit for me, though. But I did enjoy the match. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. I could watch these guys wrestle forever. And the ending, it was a lot of fun. And I'm so excited to see where it goes.
Well, I'm on a freaking roll here. I
Yeah.
give it a 4.
Wow.
It started off really slow, and I was
Oh,
like,
just wait.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of not what I was expecting. Then it started picking up, and it went from first gear to 10th gear so fast.
So fast.
And then I was in the middle of what to do, and then the Eric Rowan spot came out, which was just blew my mind. I
Yeah.
was not
Because
expecting
it was
that.
so out of left field.
Yeah, it was so out of left field, and so I was happy. I loved it. I think Eric Rowan can be used better than the Bludgeon Brothers. I think the Bludgeon Brothers is fucking stupid, but
yeah, they had their little run.
they had that stupid thing with the hammers, and it was just dumb. So I would like to see Eric Rowan be a person and not like,
Like a supervillain sort of thing.
I don't know. I just want to see him like in a, I don't know. I want to see where this role
Like he
goes.
was showing off his tattoos, which we'd never seen. Like
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
dressed in normal clothes. Like,
Exactly, that's what I'm
he
saying.
had a great look
a
here.
person and not just a freaking
I'm with you.
something.
I'm with you.
I'm getting tired. I'm off the
Oh
rails.
boy,
Luke, what did you think of the match, buddy?
I might have overrated this one, fellas.
No overrating here.
4.5.
Oh, okay, you might have overrated
Yeah,
this match
yeah.
a little bit.
Luke,
Yeah, you know, which is funny because the last AJ Bryan match at what was the last pay-per-view?
Survivor Series,
Yep.
TLC.
TLC.
TLC. Yeah.
I'm drunk.
Nice. I actually underrated compared to everyone else. They loved it.
I
That was an
don't
instant
think you
classic.
overrated it.
I think you overrated it a
I
little
think
bit.
I think this was another classic chapter in what's been an amazing feud.
Colin, did he overrate this match? Colin says yes. We need to get
Dude.
Colin a hot mic for this next live stream if he's gonna come back. You
Yeah.
coming back next time? All right,
Get
we gotta
the
get him.
engineer,
We gotta
get
get
the
him. We gotta
engineer,
get
yeah.
him. We gotta get him.
Yeah, he
mic'd
could
up
be like
next
Mega
time.
Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
No, I'm just playing with you. It was
I mean-
super solid. It just, I think the crowd not being very into it kind of brought down my enjoyment.
You
a
said
little-
you
just a
said
little
smooth, and nothing describes these two more.
Yeah.
It just goes seamlessly from spot to
And-
spot. They're so stiff where they need to be,
Yeah.
but they protect themselves when it's necessary.
And I will say too about AJ, he's obviously getting older, and we've seen a couple of young AJ Styles matches in his time in TNA. Man, he has reinvented himself,
Fine wine, baby.
and he is he's aging
One of the
so
goats.
well. And he's changed his style to obviously make up for some of his age-based limitations, and he's still one of the best in the world.
But really, I mean, maybe I was just so hyped on the possibility of this Manson this whole gimmick afterwards.
You're gonna
Maybe
get it,
that's
pal.
maybe
You're
that's what
gonna
I
get it,
rated
I
on.
think.
But I am so excited for where this goes next.
And again,
Some people-
fire off in the chat. Let us know if you guys are
Yeah.
excited for this, because on our discussion thread on the Slam chat, people seem to not really be into this
Twitter
match.
feed people were pissed too.
And
Yeah.
not really be into this angle, but I am coming at it as like, if this is the start of like a stable, and don't think that this is the end of the AJ Styles feud. You'll
No.
get another match from
No.
them, and probably an elimination chamber.
But that's kind of what I'm hearing is that people are sick of this feud. But it's like they're putting on classic after
Well,
classic, man.
So, and
what
I'm
is
not.
going on with AJ Styles feuds, by the way, where he's putting on like even going back to Shinsuke? And
Is it
obviously-
because they're always like co-mains?
yeah?
I think AJ and Daniel do a lot of mat-based technical wrestling.
And we're just so spoiled with high flying.
And we're so spoiled with some of the AJ X Division style matches that are flying and fast paced. I don't think people appreciate the toning it down and going more of a Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes style feud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're more wanting the Jeff Hardy CM Punk style feud. You know, where
Well,
you're
that's the thing is like
flying around.
Styles has been doing a lot more like personal story based.
Yes.
And not that his matches have been slow; they haven't been anything but that. But
Right,
if you
right.
go back to Shinsuke, I mean, he's had really 3 like long drawn out feuds in the past year, really, because he had Shinsuke, which started at WrestleMania last year, and that went for months. And to be fair, that started out pretty rocky,
Right.
But their matches kept getting better. And then Samoa Joe, which was my feud of the year last
Awesome.
year,
Yep.
and then to transition to Daniel Bryan. But there seems to be something where like the mass population might be cooling on AJ a little bit
I
for some
think-
reason, and I don't totally
So
don't get
I
it.
think
I can watch
AJ
that guy forever.
I think
could too.
AJ's slowing his style down so he can get a couple more years out.
Exactly, and I'm
Yep.
totally fine with that.
And
Yep.
I think you see that with a lot of wrestlers, and I think you need to appreciate what you're seeing, and not just judge it because it's different. There's a lot of wrestling that it's just not as overall exciting every moment like it was, but it's still fantastic.
Yeah,
Well, whether it's now or whether it's later, they're going to love this shit.
Then,
I agree.
Now
I agree.
forever.
It's gonna get. I think it's going
Nice.
somewhere special
Nice.
potentially. So after that is gonna be the Universal title
Can
match.
So
Yeah.
there's a promo in between here. We haven't
go
brought this
ahead.
up yet. Halftime Heat is coming back,
Oh, yeah.
fellas.
We got halftime heat coming back. It's gonna be an NXT focused halftime heat.
So they've only done this one time, and it was in '99, which is going to be a 20-year anniversary.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So they only did it, and it was that empty arena match between The Rock and Mankind for the WWF Championship. This time they're featuring NXT, which I love.
I love that too.
So
too.
You bet. I'm sorry, Maroon 5. I'm not watching you. I'm turning on halftime heat, fellas, and it's going to be awesome.
So here's the interesting thing: is from the graphic, it looked like it's going to be on Facebook, Twitter, the network, and
Everything.
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
So you got no excuses, people. You're going to watch wrestling at Super Bowl halftime. I know I am.
I have a
Kyle.
serious question.
Yeah.
Yes.
What officiating is going to be worse? The real WWE officials or the fake NFL officials that are rigged?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
I think it's gonna be a
tough one, huh?
Hot
50-50.
take, hot take, hot take.
I think they're both equally choreographed and scripted at this point. Zing.
Yeah, I think the NFL is a little bit more, but
So
that's all right.
Thank you for bringing that up. Oh, I wanted to bring something up too. I know we're like, I don't know how many people are watching, and we're well over halfway
Just
through
do
the
it.
stream. We are not going to be streaming live on YouTube from this point forward. We're going to be on Twitch. You can make an account for free. And
We
the
love
reason,
Twitch.
The reason this is because we love Twitch. I guess I'll make the announcement now. We're going to have some weekly Twitch programming coming. So on Thursdays, we're going to be doing Throwback Thursday, where we rerun an older episode. This week will probably be this review, I'm guessing. I
Sure.
haven't made up my mind.
Sure.
And then Friday nights, we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing from my apartment an Impact review show. So right after it goes off the air on Twitch on Fridays at 9, tune in to our Twitch channel, twitch.com/BigBoysAndBodySlams. Twitch.tv/BigBoysAndBodySlams. I apologize. And check out my
Review.
of Impact. And so going forward, all of our post pay-per-view live streams will be over on Twitch. You can make an account for free. If you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, you are on Twitch Prime, and you get a free sub every month. That
Give it
money
to us.
you can give that to us for free, and we will get money every month as long as you're subscribing. We're gonna make some emotes and custom things for you guys. So It's just a way to kind of expand, and there's a lot of more beneficial things for us using Twitch as opposed to live streaming on YouTube. And don't worry, like the weekly podcast still going to be on YouTube every week. We're still going to be doing YouTube exclusive videos. In fact, we have a few coming up, but keep an eye out for some more Twitch content as well. We're just getting content everywhere, so
How convenient is that?
that's my spiel. Get on Twitch.
You watch Impact Friday on Twitch and go right to our review.
Yep.
It's weird how that works out.
I know I personally won't be on every single Friday night.
Oh no, it'll mostly be Zach.
It'll be mostly Zach because I got school. I got
Right.
other things too. But give him that look. Impact is on fire right now.
Yeah, they deserve your attention.
Yeah, Sami Callihan GOAT.
With that being said, should we get into the Universal title match?
Do it.
It is the man, Finn Balor, and I have a huge problem with this.
Not Demon.
The man, Finn Balor, not the Demon, versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. And here's my... So I know where they're coming with this. Because
You know.
they do not want the
He knows.
Demon to lose. And I get that. And Finn's not going to win this match. Spoiler alert. Finn loses. So here's the thing, though. Logically, if you're speaking from like a kayfabe logic perspective, if the Demon is something that like unleashes this inner confidence or inner swagger or inner power in Finn Balor, why would you use it for a match against Baron Corbin and not for a match for the Universal Championship against Brock freaking Lesnar? This bugged the crap out of me.
I get why they used it for Corbin, but it should have been used here too.
At this point,
Yes.
just don't do it anymore. Retire the Demon character because there's
Hell no.
there's no
No,
rhyme or reason. If
you
he's not going to
bum.
use it, when is he going to use it? If he's not going to use it at the second biggest show of the year or third biggest show of the year,
I get it.
Because they're trying to develop something, man.
Yeah, I totally get why you want it, and I wanted it too. But like, don't retire it because
So,
it's something special.
Maybe. Okay, go ahead. Kyle,
I was just
I'm
gonna say
sorry.
you don't want to overplay it either, which
Yes.
I know it
he
hasn't
uses
been
it once
overplayed.
a year at this point, though. He
Okay.
used to use it on every takeover show.
Okay.
And talk
but
about overplaying it.
here's the thing. Do we really know what invokes the demon? Like, is there?
No, it used to be just like, I'm going to do it on pay-per-views because I'm stronger.
So
Right,
maybe
but
maybe
he
it
would
needs something to develop it.
He did it. I think it's an anger thing. I know this is weird, but like when he faced Bray Wyatt, like he took him to the brink, and there was a whole stupid Sister Abigail thing. But
Do you think this leads to a rematch with when the Demon comes out?
It could.
it
But
could.
again, you don't want him to lose, though. And I don't think
As
he's
the
going to be
Demon?
going over.
Which
Brock.
the only time he's lost was Samoa Joe in NXT
so
as the
what,
demon.
so what if
So I guess on special occasions.
so what
Yeah.
if like Brock loses the title at WrestleMania, and then Balor wants his rematch with Brock at the next pay-per-view, and then brings out the demon?
I just think it's
I'd say
an
bring it
emotion thing, and like Brock wasn't pissing off Finn here, and it wasn't talking crap to him or anything. So I don't know. I just feel like
Yeah,
that's what invokes it, and this wasn't.
I think he was more grumpy at Corbin than Brock.
Mm-hmm.
So get into the match.
Yep.
So Finn attacks Brock right as the bell rings, hits him with a nice missile dropkick, then a stiff enziguri and another springboard stomp to Lesnar, corner dropkick, belly to Balor, and this is when Lesnar recovers, hits another overhead belly to Balor outside. Lesnar gets sent into the corner of the table, the announce table outside, really hard, and then again,
Multiple
like
times.
right in the area where you'd like get like a hernia. Like he got sent twice right into the same area, and his selling was either masterful or he was really hurting by the end of this match because it like had an effect on him.
Well, when you saw
Probably
the
a little
marks,
of both.
you saw the marks at the end of the match. You could tell he took those corner shots.
Yeah, probably a little
Legit.
both, honestly. So Brock is bugged by that. There's a sling blade to Lesnar, and then Finn gets killed with a clothesline here. And then Brock is really selling, again, this is his midsection area. Goes for a German suplex, but he can't get him up because of the injury. Says, screw it, I'm just going to go for the F5 instead. Balor spins out of that, counters into a nice DDT for a near fall, and then he stomps on the injured belly area into a double stomp, and then there's a baseball slide drop kick to Lesnar, and then a Topicon Hero takes out Lesnar, and then another, and then a third, right in a row. And I was saying during the show, it takes so much cardio, I imagine, to be able to do that once. He did it 3 times in like a minute. It was incredible.
He's a stud.
And he hit it perfectly all 3 times. It was very, very nice. And then he gets him into the ring, corner drop kick, hits the coup de grace for a near fall, gets rolled into the Kimura lock, and Finn taps out. Brock retains in 7.5 minutes. This was
Of
a very,
action.
very fun match. Could have went a little bit longer, I think. It was a bit on the short side, even for a Brock match, I feel like.
Right.
So it didn't really get a chance to build a ton. I gave it 3.25 stars. Still thoroughly enjoyable. Loved it. It was fun to see Finn come so close. I was bummed out when it ended. Not because, because Finn lost, but just because it felt like it was really starting to pick up, and I didn't want to see it end yet. So 3.25 for me.
Boy, I am off the rails compared to you tonight.
Yeah.
I gave it 3 3/4.
Okay.
Not too far off.
I absolutely loved this match.
Yes.
I would have been 4 stars given 5 more minutes, because
Yes. I
I
agree.
agree with that.
this I expected a good match, but this match was so fast paced and so fun. And I think you're seeing Brock want to work with these little guys because it brings the best out of Brock Lesnar.
Totally, definitely.
When it's easy money, they sell. They're bumping fools, man.
And I think Brock cares more about the perception of him than he would let on. Like, I think he wants people to want to watch him, right? Because
I think he's a good worker.
yeah, I think he's a
for
good
sure.
worker, and I think when you get in with a guy like Roman Reigns or Randy Orton that aren't necessarily the best bumpers in the world, and you know they're big guys, I don't think it pulls the best out of him. But when you see him with guys like AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan and Finn Balor, he's a bumping fool, and he's just having a blast. And I think Lesnar still cares to some degree about the wrestling business.
Sure.
So I've been on the record to express my distaste with Lesnar in the
Me
current
too.
title picture.
Me too.
But I will not deny that when put in the right situations for Brock, he is still even in his inclined age from where he used to be. He's still a hell of a worker, and he
Yes.
can still put on a very entertaining. He is a sports entertainer,
Right,
through
yes.
and through, and
And-
he can put on one hell of an entertaining match, and he did tonight.
And sorry to keep this so long because I know Luke's got a rating,
Oh, you're
but
good.
he's a draw. He's still
Oh,
a
for
draw.
sure, for sure.
He's one of the
it-
greatest athletes on the earth ever.
Yeah.
It's Hulk Hogan in WCW again.
Yeah.
Because Hulk wasn't on every show. Hulk was not wrestling on every
Right.
show, right? But he was the draw. And this is the same thing. Hulk wrestled more per year, obviously, but he wasn't main eventing every pay-per-view when he was the champion. There were pay-per-views that did not have a world title match because Hulk Hogan was in his contract. He only had to work like 8 pay-per-views a year.
Right.
So Brock's kind of got that same schedule going, and he's a draw. And they know if they lose Brock Lesnar to just say Impact Wrestling, like just use that as an example, that their ratings are going up. Just like WCW didn't want to lose Hulk Hogan back to WWE.
Right.
Yeah, no way. I gave this one. I was right in the middle of you guys. I gave it 3.5 stars.
Right on.
I thought Finn looked phenomenal. He was selling his ass off, but Brock was selling his ass off even more.
was, yeah.
Finn got a ton of offense in, and just told a great story. I mean, he had to pull out all the stops, do everything he could, and still he got caught with that Kimura in the center of the ring, which no one is going to be able to escape from. That's Brock Lesnar.
I wonder if we get another match at Fastlane or Elimination Chamber between them.
That'd be nice.
And before we move on to what's going to come
WrestleMania.
next,
Sure.
we'll see.
So let's get into the main event.
So
I'm ready.
so we're gonna get into the men's Royal Rumble match. I'm gonna let these two gentlemen take over because I was setting up. Yeah.
Post match though. Suplex
Brock
City.
beat shit
Oh
out
yeah,
of-
post match. Finn got the shit kicked out of him by Brock.
Suplex City, and that 5 connects.
And then after that we get to the men's Royal Rumble match. I'm gonna let these two take over because I was setting up everything for the
So
stream.
I can start it.
Go ahead.
ahead.
So Elias comes out.
He's number 1.
He's number 1, and he's all talking about how he's going to sing and stuff.
on his little stool with his
and,
Fender
and
acoustic.
he's getting ready, and then some familiar music hits, and we get old JEFFJARRETT. Ha ha. So Jeff Jarrett makes a big surprise. Lawler dubs him.
in his old double J outfit.
Oh yeah, and
I love
with
that.
the weird slits.
Yeah, me too. And Jerry the King Lawler, who's on commentary, says this could be the next Sonny and Cher. So
Which JBL and King were both special announcers on this.
right,
Yeah.
and then so they talk about playing a duet, and then Elias decks Jeff Jarrett, and then hits him with the guitar
over the back.
They battle a little bit, and Jeff Jarrett gets thrown over the top by Elias.
But you know
Do
what?
you need me to keep going, or
you can go all the way until Johnny comes out.
But you know
Like,
what?
oh.
This
Okay.
real quick, Kyle. This
Yeah.
is the spot we've been waiting for what, over like a year or two.
yes, but I wish they would have sang.
I know. Yeah,
We
before he turned on
almost
him.
got there.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm not like I've never been like a big Jarrett guy.
I marked out.
I
though.
marked out for this. This was awesome.
Hell yeah.
So then we get Shinsuke Nakamura doing double duty. He comes out in his nice little red jumpsuit.
Yes. It's
oh.
cute.
It is cute.
Okay, and then Elias climbs up on top of the turnbuckle and walks old school style all the way across to the other turnbuckle.
From buckle to buckle, yeah.
How crazy was that?
Undertaker's is better though.
And then the Patriots theme song hits,
They
and out
said that,
comes
yeah.
Kurt Angle.
I was hoping for a Patriot comeback, man. I was like, Del Wilkes, here we go. And no, it's just Kurt Angle.
And
he alive?
Kurt is throwing suplexes like crazy.
Probably not.
Some are looking good and some are looking bad. He's just throwing suplexes everywhere. We get Big E coming out, pulling pancakes from his crotch and throwing them to the fans, which just is gross. And E goes in, he starts throwing some suplexes. Then Kurt Angle hits the Angle slam to Big E. And then Nakamura eliminates Kurt Angle, and there goes another legend. So your first 2 eliminations are Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle.
I was hoping to see a few more minutes of Kurt Angle here.
I was too.
Del Wilkes is still alive.
Okay, good.
And then
Friend of the podcast.
I'll
the
let
Patriot Dylan.
I'll let Zach take over. Out comes Johnny Gargano.
Yeah,
It's
Johnny
another
Gargano comes out of
surprise.
Johnny,
6.
kick him in the ding ding.
Johnny Gargano makes his way out to the ring. He goes right after Elias, then hits a DDT onto Big E. Slingshot spear to Elias. He's looking hot here. And then Jinder Mahal in at 7, accompanied by the Sings, of course. Kicks Elias's head off, and then Gargano spears him out of the ring. And then the Singh brothers
Super kicks him out of the
super
ring.
kicks him out of the ring.
Yeah.
I apologize. And then for some reason the Singh brothers get involved after he's eliminated. They get taken
Because,
out.
of course they
Big
do.
E takes some. Big E. Big E has been in this match for roughly 5 to 6 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark at this point. Maybe a few more. He pulls out some disgusting, sweaty, sticky pancakes
Flapjacks.
out of his chest.
Out of his flat.
And he puts them in one of the Singh brothers' mouths.
This is disgusting.
This is one of the grossest things I've ever seen in professional wrestling.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
stop that.
Don't over exaggerate.
Oh, so who comes out next?
And then the Singhs are gone after that, by the way.
They get tossed out.
They got Kyan tied.
Yeah, and then number 8. Boo, 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 boo. Ba, ba.
Oh, Joe.
Samoa Joe in at number 8. He comes sauntering down to the ring. He cleans house here. He and Gargano are going at it, which is a match I would love to see, by the way. Joe moves out of the way of a Johnny Splash, just like so nonchalantly. And then Joe eliminates Big E. And then Kurt Hawkins. Is Joe Nikki in the chat?
Jonica is not in the chat.
Oh!
Only Wyatt and Greg are being
Joe
active
Nikki.
in the chat, and
does
Aaron has texted me.
Oh,
but-
well, Kurt Hawkins comes on in. He enters, and then he leaves the ring, decided he's going to not do anything, going to bide his time on the outside. And then Hawkins gets put into the Kikina clutch for a while, and then he goes night-night, and then he just rolls back out of the ring, and then he crawls under the ring, so another under the ring spot. Number 10, Seth
Burn
Rollins.
it down.
Seth Rollins comes in, hits a springboard clothesline like a house of fire to Elias right as he comes in.
Nice.
And then, thank you, Rollins eliminates Elias, and then number 11 is Titus O'Neil, and I knew they were going to do it. I knew they were going to do a callback to the Greatest Royal Rumble. And,
Because they've only shown that clip a million
and I
times.
didn't want to see it, but I have to admit,
It was kind of
pretty
funny.
It was pretty funny. So
he ends up chasing Kurt Hawkins under the
Hawkins
ring.
pokes his little head out.
so he comes out to the ring and he starts to run and then he stops, like he very slowly acts like he's gonna get into the ring, but as he's Hawkins, and then he just like crawls into the ring after him, and then Hawkins and O'Neil both end up back in the ring, and then Hawkins eliminates O'Neil. He gets an elimination in the Royal Rumble. Good
By
for him.
pulling the top rope down.
Yep, and then Joe eliminates Hawkins, so it was not a long lasting.
Hey, he got his moment, though.
But he got his elimination, and then in at number 11 is Kofi Kingston, Mr. Rumble himself. Even though he's never won one.
SOS.
Stop.
Joe goes
Talk
to
that.
send Kofi out, but Kofi says no. Mustafa Ali then is in at number 13. Comes and hits an X Factor.
My
to
favorite
Samoa
Power
Joe.
Ranger.
Dude, he was looking great here.
And
he got a
everyone's
big pop,
calling back
too.
to X-Pac with some moves.
I know a
tonight.
lot of X Factors and a couple Bronco Busters on the show. It was cool to see Ali come into such a big pop too. He is gonna be a huge
Huge.
star. I just can't wait for his future. And he came into it to a nice big pop here. Big X Factor to Joe, as I said. Seth almost gets tossed out by Kofi, but he holds on. And then Ollie mocks the Shinsuke, come on. And then that was terrible. I sound like Arnold. Come on! Come on! It's not a tumor.
Come on.
And then, oh man! And then Ali drop kick Shinsuke off the top rope to eliminate him. So goodbye, Shinsuke Nakamura. And then Ali super kicks Gargano again. Another match I'd love to see. There's an overhead belly to belly to Ali by Samoa Joe right into the corner. And then number 14 is Dean Ambrose. I don't know why I'm remembering this song.
Because they're great.
Yeah, they are. And then Dean Ambrose comes in. He goes right after Rollins. And I have to say, I question Dean's fashion choices because he's wearing like black skinny jeans with like a floppy canvas belt. And then he's got like a chain attached to one of his belt loops. But
the old
instead of
punk
going to
chain.
like his pocket, it's just going to his other belt loop.
What, do you think he was going to have a wallet in there or what?
Maybe. I don't know. He's unhinged. He's a lunatic friend.
He's something.
Hey, so he goes right after Rollins. Kofi will not go out. He gets both feet on the ring apron. Technically, both his feet probably hit the ground twice in this match, by the way. But, you know, we got to let the story play out.
Kofi spots.
Exactly. So he like gets his feet on the ring apron and then he rolls back into the ring. He does get back in.
Corkscrews.
Yeah, there's a flying DDT to Ambrose at this point by Kofi, which was really nice. Dirty Deeds to Gargano and he's eliminated. And then a Trouble in Paradise to Ambrose right after that. And at number 15, no way, Jose makes his way. You guys can take him off your milk cartons now. He is no longer missing. No way, Jose I had a sighting tonight. I saw him.
That was it. That's all it
Instantly,
was, too.
This might have been a record elimination. Instantly gets eliminated by Joe. He doesn't even get both feet in the ring. and he's gone.
And the funny
Like,
thing is, he has this
barely gets
entourage.
in.
He has this entourage like Adam Rose did.
Yeah.
And I think Adam Rose had a very similar elimination at the Rumble, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
And except for he got thrown onto the
Yeah.
Rosebuds and he got carried out.
And then Drew McIntyre comes out at 16. He walks out to Jose and the dancers, takes him out, takes a few of the dancers out, and takes Noe
Just
Jose
beats
out.
them all up.
Yeah, it was great. And then he makes his way to the ring. Instantly, Claymore kicks Rollins and then hits one on Ambrose. Joe gets one too. And number 17 now is Xavier Woods. For some reason, Kofi sunset flips onto Xavier Woods
For
from
no
the
reason.
apron.
Yeah, zero.
Both feet firmly on the ground at this point. And this is when it's like this whole like 2 feet rule is like really getting out of hand. In my opinion, I don't know how everyone in the chat feels, but yeah, number 17, Xavier Woods. Kofi sunset flips onto him, and then he like gets up and like
like,
Xavier kind of
deadlifts
like
him, yeah.
carries like this. If you're watching, carries Kofi back to the ring steps. And then Woods and Kofi both get eliminated by Drew right away anyways. And then number 18, Pete Dunne, the NXT UK champion. Big pop for Pete, which was good to see. Pop for Pete. Ali gets suplexed by Dunne.
What did you call him, Kyle? The brother of...
The brother of Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley's twin brother. Pete Dunne comes out. I think she might be bigger than him, though. And then Dunne stomps on to Ali's hands, and then he's just beating up everybody. Hits an X-Plex to Ali onto Drew McIntyre. And then Dunne tries to toss Ali out, but Dean breaks it up. And then number 19, Andrade comes out. It goes
San Almas.
Thank you. Goes right after Pete Dunne. There's a bitter end, gets countered into a DDT by Almas. And I enjoyed that a lot. And then Apollo Crews in at 20. He comes in like a house of fire. He's beating everybody up. So good for Apollo to get some offense in this match here. And then Drew
Yeah.
hangs on as Seth tries tossing him. And then 21, Aleister Black comes out to another very... I love seeing these NXT guys. Like, so many of these guys are on the fringe of coming up.
There was a ton.
Well, shouldn't say so many. Alistair, definitely. I think Johnny's going to be in NXT for a while.
Honestly...
I think Pete Dunne, once he loses that NXT UK title, nothing else for him to do at that point.
Quick comment on Gargano. You can
Yeah.
really see... There's some people, and we've talked about this, that might need to just stay in NXT because it's not really developmental anymore.
Yeah. He could
but-
be like Mr. NXT.
But you're looking at Gargano and then everyone else, and he's just smaller than everyone
He
else.
looks like a little kid compared to some people in this match.
Yeah, one of our buddies who was watching this with us said, "Dude, it looks like Finn Balor's got at least 30 pounds."
He's
on
about
him.
the size of Rey Mysterio, I think.
Close. Yeah.
I think that if he's going to be comparable in size to anybody, I think you could kind of mention
Which
him.
that's a little guy.
Yeah. So Aleister Black comes in at 21. There's a springboard moonsault, takes out both Pete Dunne and Seth Rollins. Black Mass to Dean, and he just sells right out of the ring. That was great. Good way to introduce that move to people who might not be aware of it, to see Dean sell his way right out of the ring. And Dean is eliminated. Snap power slam by Joe to Black as he turns around. Time for number 22, who is Shelton Benjamin. Shelton skins the cat to save being eliminated right away, and then he hits the Pater to Dunne. Thank you for that. And then Shelton hits a big run to Joe, and then Ali eliminates Samoa Joe. So that feud is going to continue. I'm just fine with that. In at number 23 is Baron Corbin. There's a deep six to Ali, and he holds on an elimination attempt, and then Apollo gets eliminated by Corbin. And then Jeff Hardy's in at 24. Hits a twist of fate to Shelton.
Jeff Hardy's wearing, like, as you said, looks like he cut up a huge salmon and just put it on as a shirt.
Or like he looks like he's wearing rubber or something.
Yeah.
And my
Latex.
favorite thing maybe about this entire show was that Jeff Hardy's ran into the ring. One hand's doing the delete, and he's like already selling with his other.
Yeah, he's
like
going nuts.
grabbing his like ribs. Like, why are you still wrestling, Jeff? If you can't run to the ring without selling, what are you doing?
That's not selling, pal. That's just old.
So yeah, Jeff comes in. Poor guy. He's doing his best. He gets a whisper in the wind after that twist of fate. Takes out a few guys. Aleister gets eliminated by Corbin here, and there's a Claymore to Dunne, and then Dunne gets eliminated by Drew. Rey Mysterio's in at 25. Corbin catches him as he goes for a springboard move, puts him into a chokeslam backbreaker. I gotta say, like that move.
Love it.
That
Yeah.
good
Good
move
move.
in Corbin's moveset. I mean, man, I'm so torn on Corbin. On the one hand,
I'm not.
I really
He
like
sucks.
him, and I think that he's got a lot of potential, and I think he has some really cool moves. But on the other hand, I mean, he's just Baron Corbin. You know,
I like to see him get beat up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
he's a good seller. To be
Yeah.
fair. Ray's in at number 25. And Corbin catches him, like I said, puts him in the chokeslam backbreaker. Huge power bomb from Andrade to Ray. I mean, just massive. And the number 26, speaking of massive, is Bobby Lashley.
Nice segue.
With Leo Rush, of course. He can't go anywhere. He's got it's his weekend to have the kids, so he's got to go to work with him. There's a belly to belly to Seth, and then Lashley gets eliminated right away by Seth Rollins. And then he pulls Rollins out of the ring and just beats the hell out of him, assaults him, chokeslams Seth from one announce table through the other. Really cool looking spot. So it was a good way And I was saying this as we were watching because at first we're like, why eliminate Lashley so fast? Number one, he already has a belt, so he's not going to win the match. Number two, he got all of his heat back and then some by just being a monster.
That was a sick choke slam.
And choke slamming Seth through the other table.
I was happy about that.
I'm hoping this is the beginning of like more strong looking booking for what's his name, Bobby Lashley. It's getting late, fellas.
We're getting off the rails.
So
Almost there, pal. Come on.
Braun is in at 27. Braun! And Braun comes in and he throws Corbin out right away. Eliminates Shelton. Number 28, the big surprise entrant,
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler, who worked us all.
He's here to show the world.
Old Nick Nemeth changed his name on Twitter. Said he was going to AEW pretty much in a tweet. Said he had a comedy show tonight. Not so fast because he is in this match. He eliminates Jeff Hardy. And then Dolph eliminates Drew with a nice kick. And then Braun kills Andrade with a clothesline. And then in at number 29.
Hold on. On the McIntyre elimination?
Yeah.
Braun was out on the apron.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, Braun was out on the apron, like on his hands and knees.
Yeah.
And so Ziggler super kicked McIntyre and then over the back of Braun.
Yeah,
That's how he got out. It was cool.
And so Drew was out. I was surprised Drew was out relatively early. I mean, he was in the match for a long time, but I thought it was going to come down to him and Seth almost certainly. So a bit of a swerve there. So thank you for that, WWE.
Well, and there was that history between
nice.
him and Drew, or him and Dolph.
Yep. And then in at 29 is Randy Orton.
Randall.
Braun power slams Orton the second he gets into the ring. And then we get what I can only call a double-decker doomsday device.
That was nuts.
So Andrade...
Totem pole suplex.
So Andrade is on Ali, who is on Braun, and then Ray comes up to the top and just takes out Ali, who's on top of everybody. That was really cool.
So 4 men in total.
Yep, and then Strowman gets sent out, but through the middle rope, and then R-Truth is in at number 30. Or
What's
is he?
up?
He's out doing his rap, and then Nia Jax runs out from behind, just destroys R-Truth, makes her way to the ring, apparently inserts herself into the match,
So
because she's in it now.
this is only the second inaugural Women's Royal Rumble. She's the first person to ever be in both.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
So,
a good
there
point.
you go. History.
So Nia makes her way out to...
Wait, wasn't Beth Phoenix in last year's?
She wasn't in the men's, was she?
She's been in the men's before.
Right, but to be in both in the same
Oh, in
pay-per-view.
the same
on the
show.
same pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So here comes Nia Jax, and she makes her way down to the ring and apparently inserts herself into the match. Nia eliminates Mustafa Ali, and then she poses. Randy is sneaky little snake sneaking around.
Sneaky
He
little
teases that he's going to do an
snake.
RKO, but Nia fights out, and then she picks up Ray. She picks up Ray. I'm confused. And she has Ray in the Samoan drop position,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dolph, he's not having it. Super kick right to Nia Jax.
He cast the first stone.
This whole
Yeah, because
I have to give WWE credit.
we were pissed.
I was so mad when Nia came out because WWE has gone on the record in recent months several times to say that this is a line in the sand and you are not going to see intergender fighting or intergender action or wrestling in the WWE ever. Like, they have drawn a line in the sand and said, we're not interested in that. It doesn't meet up with our brand. It was all leading up to the swerve when we saw Dolph Ziggler super kick Nia Jax. And you know what?
Yes.
Well done, WWE.
Yes, and then what happened?
And then, so after that, everyone just starts beating up Nia Jax.
Love it, love
She's in the 619 position. Ray hits her with the 619, and then she gets RKO'd. And then Rey Mysterio's the one that actually does the elimination, and Nia
Well,
is
it was
out
a
of the
group
match.
effort. It was a
Yeah,
group
it was a
effort.
group effort. Ray was the leader. Everyone else kind of helped. And then Ray gets RKO'd by Orton, and he gets tossed out. And then Andrade tosses Orton out. So here's the final four of the 2019 Royal Rumble. Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins,
Braun.
Braun Strowman,
And Andrade.
and Andrade, right? Is that right? Yep.
But
yep.
not for long.
Which, hey, Andrade's in the final four. I think that kind of shows you where his career trajectory is going to go.
You would hope.
Congratulations to him. So Dolph and Andrade fight, and then Braun comes back in, hits a big corner splash to Andrade, then one to Dolph. Braun leaves the ring, shoulder tackles Seth to death just as he's recovering. There's a Dolph super kick to Braun, and then a zigzag, and then a frog splash to Braun by Seth, and then Andrade gets eliminated by Braun like right after that. Like, he just pops up and throws him out. Dolph gets eliminated now, and now we're down to our final two, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. So the end of this match is fantastic, by the way.
Sweet face off.
Yeah, so Strowman is teetering on the apron, and then he recovers, chokeslams Seth. Both men are fighting on the apron for what feels like forever, and there's a curb stomp to Braun, and he falls out of the ring. Seth Rollins wins the 2019 Royal Rumble
He's
in
going to
57
WrestleMania.
and a half minutes, and he is moving on to the main event of WrestleMania. Really good Royal Rumble match.
I'm pointing at the
Points at the sign.
pretend
Points at the sign. It's back here. And, man, really, really good Rumble match. I give it 4 stars. I just thought it was great.
Look at you.
The Royal Rumble matches are so fun. This is probably my match of the night. I don't know. They know how to do a Rumble match right now, and just built off last year's success, which was one of my favorites of all time, and this has got to be up there for me too. So 4
I
stars.
gave it 4 stars as well. I just liked it.
Yeah.
I give it 3.5. The only reason is I didn't think there were enough like cool surprises. I don't know. Yeah, I'm used to there being like a one or more comedy spots. I know there was a Jeff Jarrett one, but just
And
someone.
the Kurt Hawkins one.
Yes,
Titus
yeah,
O'Neil
that's
one.
fair. I was just
How many
hoping
comedy
for
spots
some.
you want to wear,
I was just
man?
hoping for
Good
a little bit like one of the surprises to have a little bit more star power, I guess. But 3.5's good for a Rumble.
Thing, a couple things to note about this Rumble match. No Zack Ryder, who
Right.
just like came back, had a big comeback last week on Raw, and then just they loaded both Rumble matches with young NXT talent,
Which
and
was
the,
awesome.
The
Yes,
future is
loved it.
so bright,
So
right
bright.
now, guys, for WWE.
But I was almost very pissed about the Nia Jax replacing R-Truth thing.
It ended up
but
being great, though.
it ended up being awesome.
I didn't know where they were going
So
with
good.
it, but it was fun. So that's how we go off the air with Seth Rollins standing up tall, pointing at the sign. That was the Royal Rumble 2019. Overall,
Woo!
man, what a way to kick off the year 2019 pay-per-view wise for the WWE. This was a fantastic
They're
show.
on fire, man.
There was not one bad match on this card. And guys, I'm going to do something I've never done.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
Or no, I think I've done it once. I'm giving this show an A.
Ooh.
A straight
Ooh.
up A.
Oh, I know what Kyle's giving it.
I'm giving it an A as well. Yeah.
It was a
Really?
fantastic show, guys.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not going A+ on that. You gave
Dude.
it like 4-star matches, 5
I'm not. If I'm gonna give an A+, I gotta have at least 2
I think
5-star matches.
For
on
me,
there.
I think something that also kept it from being a A+ is it was just so damn long.
Yeah, that
Like the
killed me.
length hurt.
I'm
me
having a
so
hard
bad.
time finishing this
In
show.
fact, that's the only reason I gave it a B+ is because it was so damn long.
So that was the Royal Rumble 2019.
Awesome.
If you haven't watched it and you're watching this, go watch it. It was an amazing show. Hopefully, this is the beginning of what's going to be a huge year for WWE in 2019. I think it will. Kyle, what do we have next week?
So next week we're gonna have Heatwave 98. I'll run through the card real quick.
Professor Joe making his return.
Professor Joe.
So we got Tommy Dreamer, the Sandman, and Spike Dudley versus
Lil
Bubba,
Spike.
Devon, and Big Dick in a street fight.
Mm.
We have Taz versus Bam Bam Bigelow in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
I think that's the exciting one.
We have RVD and Sabu versus Hayabushi and Shinzaki for the ECW Tag Team titles. We have Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome.
Which is always awesome.
We have Chris Candido with the Slut ringside against Lance Storm. And then we have Just Incredible versus Jerry Lynn.